want me to anything any taboo that you don't want to talk about? Anybody's names, crimes you did,
Well,
anything?
I can't mention the names of my co-conspirators, but other than that,
No. That's exactly. So I don't know myself, but I mean, we won't bring that up. You know what I mean? Whatever you don't want me to ask you, this ain't a gotcha show. Not
yeah,
for you.
no. Hey, it feels good, man, to be talking to you on the other side of the prison time, because I know the first time I was.
Yeah. Hey, I just hit the like button, guys. Anybody tuning in? Hey, Chris, I'm gonna play this little song I wrote in prison. It's my little intro, and we'll be back in. And I wrote that in prison, and I was sitting here playing it just then while I was waiting for you to come on. We were talking about life in prison in a camp. A lot of people hate us, man, but you got sentenced to 18 months in a camp, and I know you didn't do the 18 months. There's a guy who's been asking me, Anthony wants, and he is here. Anthony, hey Anthony. So I've been doing a lot of talking with Anthony, like I did with you before you went. He's getting sentenced on the 23rd or the 24th, Anthony, and he wants to know what your guidelines were. Do you remember sentencing day?
I do.
And I know I talked to you a lot about that. I think I helped get you ready for that day. Is that not the most important day that you'll never forget in your life?
You'll never forget it. And I remember we were so prepared when we went in there. My lawyer had me prepared. I was ready. My family was ready. The judge I had was a no-nonsense guy. His nickname was a time machine, so I was scared to death, I had a really good lawyer. By the time it came around to sentence me, they had pretty much sentenced all my co-conspirators. I was the last one, I think. So basically, my lawyer argued for probation, which wasn't going to happen with the amount of felonies I had and the charges I had. The prosecution, whatever, they had went from 60 months down to 36 months down to 18, which we finally agreed on. My lawyer still wanted probation. The judge wasn't having that. He said there was no way we were doing probation. So, but with the amount of felonies and stuff I had, so he did say, because I had done a lot of community service and a lot of work and stuff. We talked about that the first time. He was impressed with it, but I had still done what I had done. So what was
your attorney telling you that they might ask for, and what was the guidelines themselves in a criminal history category? The 1 through 6. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I was on the low end because of my education, my age, the first time under nonviolent.
Your education has nothing to do with the crimes that you commit. Your criminal history.
Yeah.
Some of the smartest guys in the world.
I had no criminal history. I thought we were talking about the points and stuff. Basically, when they got in there, what he did with me, he's like, if this guy really has changed the way y'all say he's changed, then I'll put his punishment on the back end. I think he thinks he's going to see
Bingo.
me. Yeah,
he thinks he's going to. Guys, that the judge is looking to see how much you've changed since you got busted.
And I had gone 2 years before sentencing. Hadn't been in any trouble. Hadn't failed a drug test. Hadn't got a speeding ticket. Nothing.
But that's what a normal person on pretrial does. You got to show the judge a little more than that. You know what I'm saying?
And when he first said 180 months probation, I ain't doing the math. I'm just like, oh, that's awesome. All I'm thinking is 18 months in prison and 180 months. It wasn't until I got out of there.
Yeah, you wait 180 months. That's yeah.
15 years. Yeah, and
five. Yeah.
If I've got 2 of them down, I'm done with 2. And look, I'll tell you about it. Everybody says, oh, probation's so hard, this and that. If you're doing what you're supposed to, probation's not hard.
It's hard if if you're living the same lifestyle that you lived before you got caught, right? If you're living that lifestyle again, yeah, it's really hard to be on probation.
How old is that?
Hey, Anthony, I got a link there because Anthony, we did one like last month. There's a link up there, and anybody else, my fellow YouTube creators out there, if you don't mind, Chris, if somebody else popped in, that's kind of what YouTube's doing now. A lot of the shows, people will pop in, and sometimes there's 5 people, and it's evolved. When I did it with you, we were using Zoom. And since then, I've discovered StreamYard, and now they're all using it. But I've done shows with 10 prison channels all on one screen, and a lot of those guys are doing really well.
The thing that these guys need to realize now is it was different when they sentenced you. It was different when they sentenced me. It's going to be up to your judge, the prosecutor. It's always different. It doesn't matter what your numbers are.
Yeah, and now it's after COVID, so I don't know. Do they got to fill the prisons back up?
Now, if you go in for a drug charges like I did, your judge may have a family member that OD'd on that particular drug, and he may have a grudge on that drug. So it's just, it varies. One thing I can't stand about these prisons, though, I was thinking about this the other day. If you went to a camp or low, you're fortunate. Be glad, be thankful. And those guys that are on there that went through mediums and penitentiaries, camps ain't nothing, lows ain't nothing. They love it when they get to camps and lows. They can say they don't, but I've seen them, they do.
No, I see it too. But they do keep to themselves. I noticed they don't. It took a year for some of those guys to talk to me because they're going. They're all snitches. They have no codes here. They don't follow any of. They mix the races. They don't ask for paperwork. They're going out of their mind, right? Because they've been conditioned.
And the thing is, though, but I try to understand where they're coming from, but they have to understand. Everybody handles situations different. I mean, there are people in Malibu, in mansions, that suffer from depression and take their own lives tragically. So everybody's going to handle. What might be a camp piece of cake to you might be. You might have some rich guy who's spoiled and never had to wait in line and it's rough on them. It really is. And it also has to do with your age. I went into my 40s. I was through with all
I was 50 years old, man. So, there was guys 80 years old and still had 10 years or 9 years and stuff to go. They don't care.
I mean, when you go in your 40s and your 50s, the fun times pretty much. I saw the ones that I saw that had the worst in there were the guys that went in at 19, 20, 21 years old, the kids. But they still want to wild out and act crazy, and I could go to my cell and sit for the rest of the day. Put the TV away, whatever. You locked us down, whatever. I was fine with going to my cell. I was good with that. But those guys weren't. It's hard to corral them. And, I would say to any of these white-collar guys that go in, man, and, stick with other white-collar guys. Don't try to be the kid on the block, the cool kid on the block, because you end up going to be a carrier pigeon or a bank vault for somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of young guys come in and try to be the cool kid and hang out with the group. He's walking across the yard for him or holding stuff in his cell for him, and he's getting busted.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's that. The thing is, the cell phones, you might have lookouts and all that stuff. It's where do you keep them? Where do you store them? I never touched the cell phone, and how it is. People will say, "Oh, I pay them $5 and I just use it for 20 minutes." You know what? They can trace that on the phone.
I used to hate it at night because I knew it was going to happen. Our dorms, our cells had windows, and the guards would walk around at night.
I think most federal prisons have windows for the inmates.
Well, the windows were head high. Well, the guards would walk by and see a blue light in the cell, so he knows there's someone in there. Here they come. Everybody's got to go get outside, and then, when you're having to walk outside at 2:00 in the morning at October, November, and especially when it first starts happening, you don't know to dress up, you don't know to put your stuff on, you don't know how long you're out there. And
I bet you got some cell phone stories. I got a real quick one for you. So I know you didn't take RDAP, right? And you weren't there long enough. But RDAP has different phases and stuff. So you have a big, large group. It's like 100 inmates taking the class, and in the morning it's called community. there's a thing called a small group. It breaks down to like maybe 15 guys, and you're in like a little kind of support group, a counseling thing. And they use the TV rooms in the daytime, right? In the building I lived at, and they had RDAP has all this extra money to spend. My first week there, as a matter of fact, RDAP I hear on the loudspeakers, RDAP's handing out ice creams, right? They went and they have this money. If they don't spend it, they have to give it back to the government, right? So they went and bought, I don't know, 50 cases of everything from Eskimo pies to fudge sickles to Nestle's Crunch with the vanilla ice cream, all those different kinds of ice cream bars, and they had like just pallets. They didn't have nowhere to store it, right? I guess the kitchen. They thought they were going to store it at the Supermax, and they said we don't have room, so they had to give it all away. So first they gave it. I wasn't even in an RDAP building, but there was 400 something inmates there, so they gave the 200 people who live in an RDAP building. They gave that. Everybody got 3 or 4 ice creams. Then they got on the speaker and said, anybody in the prison, come down, we're giving ice cream. As much as I could carry. And it was summer, it was June, and I know it was 100, 102, and I got like 18 different, everybody's got their arms full of ice cream. The thing is, it's going to melt, like half an hour. You can't sell it, right? And there was some guys in the TV room, people are trying to sell. I've only been there a week. I'm going, fuck it, I'll sell it, because nobody wants to buy it because they're giving it away free. It's like, but so RDAP has that kind of money. So they bought these fancy chairs for all the TV rooms, and underneath the chairs you could slide 2 cell phones underneath each cushion of the chair, and it fit real tight and it wouldn't fall out. So one of the counselors is sitting there one day in her group, and somebody didn't turn their cell phone off. It was on vibrate. And she's going, "Ooh, my chair feels. What's going on?" It was a lady. I wasn't there, but this is how they tell the story, because I know I was there. I was there 20 minutes after this happened. So she starts wiggling. There's a vibrator or something in this chair, and she's what? And it keeps going. So she gets up and she feels lumps in the chair. She turns it over. She says, "Oh my God, it's a cell phone." Oh, and there's another one in here. I think some of the chairs they fit 4 cell phones. And she said, "Get off your chair." And she checked another chair. Every chair, the rumor was somewhere between 58 cell phones, 42 cell phones. I don't know how many they found. And all the men were at a training. The women's staff were running the camp, and they were over at the training center, and they did a all the shakedown, all that. Everybody on the ground. We lost the TV. We lost everything. All our privileges for at least 2 weeks. Over 50 cell phones, and there's one guy, and they had been doing that for 6 months and gotten away with it. But
the second time they took the TV from us,
I want to tell you, guess how many people went to the shoe over that? They found about 8 people that didn't erase all the stuff in their phones, and they have the technology. They just don't have the manpower, because there's a tower that it pings from, and there's a way they can find out all the numbers, and they're all registered. If any of that numbers aren't on your registration for your visitors or people that you call, they could catch you. They just didn't have the staff, and they don't get any extra time and a half for it. So it's I don't know, but 8 people got caught out of all the 50 cell phones. And
where I was at, you could get a phone cheaper than you could at Verizon or AT&T. You get a phone
about
cheaper
$200 where I was at. They just drop them off on the side of the road. I'm not giving secrets away, guys. No fences at a camp. So guess what? People just leave stuff on the side of the road. I'm not giving nothing. There's no secrets. The guards know this.
There was a fence where I was at, and stuff got thrown over it. I don't know how it got in. Like I said.
Oh yeah, you said I heard there was a few with fences, but they're not really like barbed wire fences, are they?
Yeah, there's razor wire top. I mean,
if
you go to Talledega, there is a fence around the entire prison from the medium all the way down. Everything's in a fence. Yeah,
wow. I've heard there was a few camps with fences, because maybe they used to be a low or a medium and they converted it to a camp. You think that's why?
Well, that, and I think there was a little nightclub out there. There was a little nightclub that they were going out to, so they put the fence around it so they couldn't get out.
Well, we had a Super 8 hotel, and back in the day, they said you'd wake up in the morning and there'd be 3 or 4 women with in there overnight. But Morgantown, I heard that camp. It's right downtown of Morgantown. I hear those guys go to the bar and I don't know what they're using for money, but yeah, they'll sneak back, right before count, and then go back to the bar. This was back in the day.
Yeah. I forget the name of the one that I pass by all the time in South Carolina. Williamsburg.
A prison in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I could pull it up on the thing, but
anybody?
There's some people out here watching. It's a farm.
You drive by there, them guys are working. And look, it all depends. I don't know where Anthony's going. It all depends on where you go.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He wants to go. I think he said Otisville. He's out in he's in Massachusetts.
Well, the good news is, most of the time, and this is what I'm from the South. I didn't want to go up north to a prison or out west. Most of the time, they try to keep you within 300 or 500 miles of your house. So
yeah, unless you got co-defendants or something, they don't want you to be in the same prison, right?
Most of the time, you're going to be, if you're from the South, you're going to be in there with Southern guys. If you're from the North, you're going to be in there with Northern guys. So it's not like you're totally out of your element.
Yeah.
Some people get shipped off way far away.
Hey, Gerald, how you doing? Butner, he says. Thank you. Butner. The prison they drive by. Is it Butner?
I don't know if it's Butner. This is going through on the way to Georgetown up the coast. It's out. I only passed it 3 or 4 times. I don't know if it's Butner or not. I think.
Hey, Daryl. Daryl, I got a link for the StreamYard if you want to pop into. You're welcome. Okay. It's a first comment up there, but so it's not Butner. I used to know these all by heart, man. Now I got to look them up. And I know there's 110 prisons right now. That's including the MMCs, the women's, they've closed a lot down. But last I heard, 110 prisons. Does that sound about right?
Well, yeah, dude. Like I said, I just know the one I was in, and I don't ever want to go back to one. So
yeah,
I don't want to have to. I'm not in the same business as you. I don't want to know the names of them. I never want to see another one. So, but I got lucky because I went in during COVID, and remember we had talked.
So you got lucky going in during COVID? You're the first person I heard say that, because COVID, man, nobody had a good time during that.
No, now see, remember we had to go in and quarantine.
Yeah.
So they put us in a shoe in the media. So I spent about a month and a half to 2 months in the media, and there were no phones, no nothing. Just sit in isolation all day. You take a shower 3 times a week. I went in at 60 pounds. I couldn't find clothes to fit. I lost 100 pounds.
You're breaking up with your mic. Maybe shake your phone or something. I don't know.
You hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Anthony, he's dying to know how you got the 8-month sentence, but we'll get there, Anthony. Keep him.
I'll go telling them. So as I was going in there for 18 months, so I make it down to the actual camp or low or whatever they had. It was behind a fence. I got a job. I didn't hang out in the TV room. I didn't go to chow.
Did you find your own job? Did you find your own job, or did you let your counselor or somebody sign you one?
I met a guy there who was being moved to town driver. His name was Kevin, and he was going to town driver, and he asked if I wanted his job in rec. Well, I wanted, my biggest thing was to get up in there and start walking and losing weight. So he went.
Yeah, you were a big guy. You look good now. We lost him, but I'm sure he'll be back. Guys, I'll pull it up though. I don't know, 3 years ago, probably. I did when he was getting ready to go in. Chris lost a lot of weight. I'll tell you about it. I don't know what happened. He's on a cell phone. Who knows? He could have kicked it. Anyways, hey, we got. I know this guy from somewhere. Hey, Larry, I got a StreamYard link above. If you want to pop in, here, I'll even put it here again. And this guy, Larry, I know you disappeared. We covered you, though. You missed count, but
I never miss camp.
So this guy here, I get the privilege of seeing all the time. Work with him a little bit too. This guy Larry here, he's one of my friends. And we had a rock band in prison, and everybody that was in the rock band is out, and we may be getting the band back together. But did you see some of that going on in the camps with the music bands?
I met a guy, I forget his name now, good old man. He had come down worked his way down from medium. He had been in there 25 years, taught himself to play guitar and piano, could do anything by Brian Adams and Richard Marx. I used to go on Wednesday night and listen to him. Yeah. I really enjoyed him. Yeah, he was amazing. He could sing. He was very talented.
There's some talent in it. I did an open mic show out for like everybody. I probably had 15 different acts come, and everybody took turns. All day event. It was great. 4th of July, I think it was.
See, I was at a small place. We didn't have like 85 or 90 guys there.
Yeah.
And to get the answer to the question, I got out 8 months. So they closed Atlanta down.
Yeah.
And when they closed Atlanta down, they started bringing all these guys in.
Oh, right. So yeah. And it was cool.
Yeah, it was during COVID. They had to have the space. So what they did was they basically, if you weren't causing any trouble, you weren't giving them any problems, they called you into the caseworker's office and told you were going home. Well, when she called me in there, the manager, I was the second biggest guy in that prison. She didn't know who I was. I'd been in there 6 months. She didn't know who I was. Yeah,
you look off dinner. I mean, I know I haven't seen your face in 3 years, but you were a big guy. And I was kind of worried how you're going to get by it going in. So last week, this guy, Brian, 400 pounds. I just did a show with. He's going to Duluth. I mean, this guy's huge, but I don't think he's going to work out when he gets there. We'll see. I'm sorry, I got to say hi to my peoples, but here's another guy that's been sticking around YouTube. Do you remember him before you went in? It was Sticks. You had a different name for your channel then, but I don't know. You might remember this guy. Hey, here he's coming in. And Sticks, I got a link if you want to come in too.
What's going on, Sean?
Well, it's all about Chris because he's been out a little while, but he did time. He got an 18-month sentence. He ended up getting 8 months and a whole bunch of probation. How much halfway house time did you do, Chris?
6. I did 8 months in the actual prison, 5.5 months in a halfway house, and then the remainder of my sentence in ankle monitor at home.
That's a lot. And no, guys, he didn't make any deals. He went to a camp, guys. So you can't go to a camp if you have those sex charges. So don't be thinking that. Because when somebody gets like 15 years probation, Chris, you know what they think, right? That's a lot. You wouldn't have went to a camp. You wouldn't have been able to go to a camp. So that squashes anybody's theory right there.
My problem was the reason my probation is so long is because of the amount of time that I should have got, that I was supposed to get. I had a really good lawyer.
Was that a paid lawyer or a public defender, or court appointed?
No, I hired one.
Can I ask how much you paid?
$15,000.
All right, Sticks. Hey, I know we got to do a show together too, man. Pop on each other's or something. I think I might still have your number, but mine's right up there in that little yellow box there. So call me, man. But I'm sorry. Go. You were saying now about the probation and everything.
Well, basically, what he was saying that I had done all this stuff to, I guess, better myself, but he thought he would see me. Well, my lawyer was convinced that he wasn't going to see me again. He's like, well, look, if I ain't going to see him again, he should have no problem doing this 15 years probation. And I caught all kind of crap in prison about, oh man, 15 years, this and that, and you ain't got 18 months. The same guys that had 3 or 4 years with me, they're out now. They're all probation. They're fine. I'm still doing my time. So,
yeah.
But once you get older, like I said, if you're doing what you're supposed to, probation is not bad. It's not bad. If I
Yeah,
was
and
still,
it's easier said than done. A lot of guys have a hard time with it.
oh, if
You
I was,
probably had a good probation on. I went through 4 different ones. Two of them, one was he did nothing but gangbangers out in East Side San Jose, and he treated me he showed up 3 times in a 24-hour period to piss test me, waking up the whole sober house, right? At 3 in the morning, then he came back at 7 in the morning, then he came back later that day. This guy, man, it took forever to earn any kind of trust, but I got through it,
I can say this: I've been so lucky. Every probation officer I dealt with has been fantastic. Um, look, I hear people all the time that's been in prison talking about F the feds, F the police. Look, I'm a truck driver. I get pulled over all the time doing weigh stations and stuff.
Chris, Larry, let's answer. All of us know this answer. Larry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm
Daryl's
here.
asking, is it mandatory that you have to go to a halfway house? How many people said that they turned it down, right? And you got 72 hours to check in with probation, if I'm correct, right?
Well, for me, I got released from the camp, and then I
Yeah.
went from Florence, Colorado, to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I checked in at the halfway house. I got processed, and then they gave me an ankle monitor and sent me home for 10 months.
10 months, but I thought you can only do 10% of your sentence on home confinement.
I was during COVID, buddy. So
yeah.
again, I went from prison to the halfway house for 2 hours, and from the halfway house home for 10 months with an ankle monitor.
I got somebody calling in here. Let's see. Hey, you are live on Federal Prison Talk. Who am I speaking with? Who? Renee? Renee, you are live on the show. How you doing? You're good. You're. I know you didn't expect to be calling up, but when I'm doing a broadcast, this lady's going to be coming on the show too, guys. She did a lot of prison time. She's local here. I called you back. Your phone number wasn't working. I was going to go over there to the Days Inn and drop off a bunch of clothes. You going to be around in about an hour? Because I'm in the middle of a podcast. Okay, if you can come here or something, or let me call you back. I'm in the middle of a broadcast. If you hurry, you could be on the show. Okay, we'll do one with you tonight because you got a hell of a story to tell. All right? Okay. All right, guys. So, sorry about that, but I thought it was just somebody calling in, and it is. But I'm getting to know a lot of women in this town that went to prison. This town, Albuquerque, Larry, I've met more women that have done prison time in all my travels. Of all the cities, this one just it wins hands over. What would you say about that, Larry?
I mean, I've met like 2 women, and I'm an hour from you, and I don't really meet that much.
Down at the office, look at the Federal Halfway House. I mean, how many we're always meeting women in there, and I teach RDAP on Monday night, so they kind of come my way. Right? Anyways, Chris,
Yes, sir.
was it your experience that if somebody did not want to go to the halfway house, they didn't have to?
Most everybody I knew couldn't wait to get out of there. I found out when I got in there, I wished I was back in prison.
Now let's elaborate on that. So that's why Anthony's he's on the fence. He doesn't know.
I mean, here's my advice to Anthony: if he's happy, if he gets to where he's at, and he's happy there, just ride it out there. Because when when you're in prison, you're in there with the buddies you made and the friends you made. Once you go to the halfway house, you're in there with everybody. It's not comfortable. They're run down. They're they're not as nice as where he's going to leave from. I can promise you that. I was in there in the middle of the winter in February, January, December. Man, we didn't have hot water. We didn't have the food. Wasn't as good. The food wasn't as good in there as it was in prison.
Yeah, it's usually worse. They're trying to really budget. They don't have a spending budget like the feds do. But a lot of people tell me like this Albuquerque one is way strict. Mine, we could go out for an hour and we got an hour of rec time, which meant just go walk around the city, be back in an hour. But it was tough getting the job. Everything had to be approved. But
ours was during COVID. You had to give a week's heads up to go anywhere. You know, and so many guys got caught slipping out to hotels, meeting women. You get caught doing that, you go back.
Yeah.
You get caught.
It used to be you could get a weekend pass. You had to earn it, you know, every weekend.
During COVID, they weren't giving passes. You couldn't. Man, you couldn't
They're
have
still not giving them. I don't think they're doing it no more anyways. Either you could spend time with your family. You had to earn it. You get a 4-hour, 8-hour, or 12-hour pass and overnight, and then you get weekends. But so the home confinement, the 10% rule is they don't go by that no more. So Anthony, can Anthony end up getting 6 months home confinement on a 2-year or 2-year sentence?
I ended up doing the last 3 or 4 months of my sentence on home confinement, and that was, other than getting to go to work every day, that is like I said, if I had to go back and do it all over again, I would have did the entire time in prison.
Wow. Oh, is it true that they come to your house in the middle of the night, or they call your phone? If you don't answer, they'll come and take you back to prison, stuff like that? Yeah. If you pull over for gas without it on your itinerary, it's called an escape, stuff like that.
If you pull over for gas, it better be at a gas station on your way home. It better be en route to your house. Wow. You better not go those 15, 20 miles out of the way to get gas. And that's another thing. When you come home and you cross your threshold of your door, you can't leave. So I don't smoke in my house. I smoke outside. That's why I walked out here right now.
So you say you can't even walk outside of your door?
No, that thing goes. As soon as you cross the threshold, that light goes off. You got 30 seconds to get back to that landline. Then they want to FaceTime you and make sure.
Yeah, you're right. I talked to this lady, Katie. Should be coming on here one of these days. She's been on pretrial forever. When she first got home confinement, she had a pool, right? And she went in the pool thinking, it's still in the backyard. Marshals came. They all showed up. They almost brought her back to prison. Somehow she talked her way out of that one. I don't know.
That monitor I had didn't work. Half the time it didn't charge up. If the battery goes dead, they're calling. And that you got to put a landline in the house, and that phone rings. That phone will ring at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think that's the landline thing. I think they're letting that slide now. I don't know. Some jurisdictions. I guess it depends which district. Now,
the Northern District of Alabama, you got to have a landline, and that mine wouldn't stay charged. So you had to sit still for an hour or two to charge it. So you had to sit on the TV with your legs still. You couldn't move for it to charge. And mine would die in the middle of the night. They'd call at 1 or 2 in the morning, wake everybody up.
Sure. And from what I understand, you can't have any alcohol in the house. I mean, not that you have drink, but nobody that lives there can have alcohol in the house. Is that true?
No. Look, they come in there. You can't have any alcohol, any guns, nothing like that. We don't have stuff like that. But
I also know this in the feds, when they have the right to search you, they could search anybody in your house. They can search the people, other rooms, because the state, they can only search like your personal area, not in the feds, right? They can shake down your grandmother. They can strip search your grandmother if they want, right?
Yeah, everybody, when they come in, when they come in and check that house, they're going to check that out. It ain't no walk in, everything looks good, and there's a Bible on the nightstand. Y'all are good. They're going to check that out.
Yeah, they're going to check that Bible too and see what's inside of that, right?
And the thing about it is, Sean, like I said, I had gotten used to being in prison. I had started walking. I lost close to 100 pounds. I bet before, because I lost about 90 pounds. I was getting to the point I couldn't even tie my shoes. I'd be out of breath. Then I had to look in the mirror. I said, what the hell am I doing, man? I was always kind of skinny all my life, but I met a pilot in her named Kevin, real good guy. We became real good friends, and he encouraged me. He would walk with me, and I'd have to sit down. I couldn't make it around the track, but before I left, I was doing 6 to 8 miles a day, no problem. I went from 460 down to like 3.
460, man. You were heavier than this. You were heavier than Brian that just went into Duluth. Oh man,
I'm almost 6'5". So. Right now, currently, I'm. Yeah, right now.
What do you weigh?
Right now I'm about 380. But I had got down to about 360.
You need to drop more, but you look good because I seen you before. But
oh yeah,
are you still working on it? Is it slowly coming off every month?
No, I do fasting now because I've destroyed my body over the years just doing stupid stuff. So a lot of working out. There's no way I'm going to sit there. I'm 45 years old. I don't go to the beach. I don't have no reason to look like I wanted to look in my 30s. But no, I mean, like I said, it's everybody's preference. I mean, I had some people say their halfway house was nice. Mine wasn't. And now the prison was nice. It's not, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's different for people. It's all in how you grew up, man. If you grew up with a silver spoon, you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. If you've never had to wait, you've always had money and people catered to you, you're gonna hate it. That's just the bottom line. It's prison. It's not supposed to be fun.
I used to have no sympathy for those people like the luxury, until I got there and watched day after day the doctors, the lawyers, watching them every day. At first, I'm look, they don't have nothing. They're living like us. But after a while, I started seeing, man, these guys. Then I kind of got, after a while, I wasn't like enjoying watching them, be poor, and I got over all that, and then I started to have a heart and be, be an actual, I feelings, care for your fellow human being instead of judge. I've always judged all my life before you open your mouth. Now I wait for you to open your mouth,
Well, the one thing that guys need to realize that hadn't gone in yet, it's not hard. It's not hard. They give you a number, you do your number, period. The guys used to get on my nerves were the white collar guys who go in, think their case matters more than anybody.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I've meant when I'm watching them squirm.
Want to go in there and discuss their case. Their case is more important than yours. Their reason to go home.
You're in prison now, buddy. The time for that was before you got here.
The reason they called me in there when they got all them guys in Atlanta to send me home is because they didn't know who I was. I was never in their face. If I went to see a counselor or I went to see a case manager, it's because they called me in there. I never went in there and said how much time I got left. And I thought I was doing the whole 18 months. When they called me in there and told me that I was going home in December, I thought they made a mistake. I said, "You talking about December next year?" She said, "No, in a couple of months."
Yeah, would you win the lottery?
Yeah, I said, "Well, there must be some mistake. I haven't been here but 6 months." And she's like, "You want to go home or not?" And I was like, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, "Go pack your stuff, stay out of trouble. We'll let you know."
But have you seen a lot of guys? They got these entitlement issues, and they're demanding their case manager do this, and and they get a big wake up call when they get there, right?
And the problem with the white collar guys, especially the ones that's got money, they don't take it serious. They've got it made when they get out. It's just an inconvenience for them. And it's the ones that I used to feel sorry for were the ones that had a calendar in their cell.
Oh,
like you wake up every day and marking off that calendar. Time's going slow. Get up on the track, work out. And another thing about those white collar guys, not all of y'all can work in the library. Not all of y'all can teach.
Yeah, they want a desk job. They want to be education. They want the job of education guy.
Look, grab a weed eater. Grab a weed eater. Get something that's going to make your day go by fast. Get out of that, son.
What about on lockdowns when we got to go, make the bologna sandwiches across the street and all that? Did you see how many white collar guys all of a sudden have these back problems and everything else? Did you see that?
Which I wanted something to make my day go by. Get up on that rec yard, working up there. I didn't mind doing
the lockdown, so I bet it was 12-hour days.
Yeah, look, I never had to do that. And when they locked us down, they just lock us in our cell. And you're just in your bunk. And those days would be long. Like I said, I never read a book in my life till I got there. I read like 6 or 7 books. And I noticed that, here's what people need to understand. And because when I first talked to you, I was worried. I was like, because it's the fear of the unknown.
A lot of people, I still get people just like you calling all the time, Chris. All the time.
It's not. You told me there was nothing to worry about. Of course, you don't know till you see it yourself.
I know. And you hear that. And Walt Pablo told me that too till I went in there. Now, because he had went before me, and now we can joke, now we can laugh about it.
I will say this: it's different for me because I had to go to lockdown into the SHU to quarantine.
Yeah, see, I got the first day there. I walked in, so yeah, a little different. Huh?
But when you first get there, don't go in right away trying to make friends with everybody. Kind of hang back, see who's trouble and who's not, because you don't even want to be around the guy that talks a lot. You don't want to be around the carrier pigeon. You don't want to be around the bank vault or the store guy. You don't want to be around him because he's going to.
There's that over friendly guy. He pops out of nowhere. He's over friendly, over talkative. He wants to show you around, and he won't let nobody else. Hey, I got this guy. I'm his tour guide.
Yeah,
these guys. I think they're harmless. I think they're harmless, but they're just like they want somebody to like them. I guess
The dude when I first come in there, man, offered me an open yellow spoon, and a half-eaten candy bar.
An open yellow spoon. What is that?
I don't want your juice spoon or your half-eaten candy bar. But like I said,
what's a yellow spoon? What's a open yellow?
We had them old yellow plastic forks and spoons you could buy in commissary. He comes up, tries to hand me a yellow spoon, like in case I didn't have one. I told him, I said, "Man, I'm good. I don't need a spoon."
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it had something like a shot of coffee in it or something. Oh, okay.
No, it's just a yellow spoon he been eating off of. That's another thing too. Everybody wanted my cups and bowls when I left. You can have them, but man, I didn't want any. I didn't want nothing that been on nobody's mouth. Some guys in there don't have money, man. But I will say this: if you'll sit back, you don't have to get involved with everybody. You're gonna need friends, and when I say friends, I ain't talking about hangout friends. There's guys in there that do the commissary. You're gonna need friends in. You're gonna need friends in warehouse. You're gonna need friends in laundry. You're gonna need.
Depending on the cook, the food's decent. You got a decent cook.
There were days, but the food's so old, outdated. There's some COs that come in that put a little seasoning with it, but I got so sick of white rice.
If you could talk your CO into buying you spices and herbs and but something's going on. Sorry. Anyways, if you could talk the CO, if you're in the kitchen and cooking, if you could talk them into buying oil and spices and herbs, and you know what you're doing, the food can be not half bad. But I hear some of the COs they don't care. This is prison, buddy.
Yeah, and
our COs were hey, if we can keep the inmates happy with the food, then it makes our day much easier, and we don't have paperwork to do. We don't have to break up fights. So I'll order them spices and herbs or whatever they want because I want the whole camp happy. That was their philosophy.
The last 3 months I was in there, I didn't even go in the shower.
No, I know a lot of people didn't. They what you buy in the hallways. A chicken night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. I was gonna say if they had chicken fajitas, and I go, oh, there's my chicken when they start selling it down the hall later that night.
You're surprised how long a chicken quarter can stay in a locker without going bad.
Shove down their pants in a plastic bag with their left nut all. Oh God!
Yeah, we would get chicken on Thursdays, and I would be there some Sundays, and somebody offered to split a chicken and rice bowl on a Sunday.
Oh and God! No refrigeration. Oh God! Man, I went to culinary school. I learned about all those microorganisms, and oh God, I don't talk about food poisoning.
It's been sitting in your locker since Thursday. I don't want it. I don't want a bite of it. I don't want none of it. But those guys would make those cheesecakes and pizzas. I'll say this, and this as well as anybody. If some of those guys in prison would get out and put their creativity to use to earn a living, they would be some of the most successful around.
Amen.
And you can take Skittles, mozzarella cheese, and cookies and make a dessert better than any restaurant chain. These guys are. And one thing that Anthony will learn, and guys calling in that are about to go, you're going to meet some of the nicest guys you've ever met.
that just did
Right.
stupid shit. That just did
Yeah.
stupid. And I've heard you correct a few of them. I made a mistake. One mistake they forgive. I made probably about 240 mistakes that ended up in 31 charges, and they didn't forgive anything. But
No, I know what you mean. I still make mistakes today, just not the criminal kind.
And you can let Anthony know you're going to meet two types of people in prison, two types of liars. There's going to be the liars who downplay their crime, who's going to say they didn't do as much as they did. And then you're going to meet a bunch of Poindexters who try to make it look like they were more than they were. I had guys come up and be like, oh man, I should have been in the medium. Then why ain't you? Why would you want to be? Why would you want to be up there? We had a medium at our place and an ambulance left there 3 times a week. I didn't want to be up there.
I'll tell you this: I might have survived a medium. I don't think I could have survived a penitentiary, a USP, man. I really don't. I'm not penitentiary material, man. I didn't just lock me in the shoe the whole time. I don't know if I could.
I've got a state prison 5 miles from my house called W. Donaldson. Google it. They kill somebody in there. It's a maximum security. They kill somebody in there, stab somebody in there once or twice a week. They don't play over there. I wouldn't want to go there. Like I said, my life of crime, my crime of any kind is done. But I had changed the way I lived on pretrial. Going to prison. It was just the end game. It was just to get it over with.
And that's when I hope people start to wake up on that pretrial. Don't wait till you get to prison. If you do wait till you get to prison, fine. But don't wait till you get out of prison. You're not going to change then. If you're going to wait till you get out, if you know this, I'll do that when I get out. I'll do that when I get out. No, you're not going to do it then, man.
No, look, here's the thing. When you're in prison, take that time. And I've heard RDAP Dan and I've heard them other guys talk, but it's the truth. Don't take that time to dwell on why you're in there. You're in there because of what you did.
It's just a chapter in the book. It's just a chapter in the book of your life. It's the middle of the book, dude. That's the way I look at it. I don't care how old you are, man.
What you need to concentrate on, is what led to that. Was it women? Was it drugs? Was it money? Was it food? What caused you to make those decisions that you made? That's what I spent, 7 or 8 months thinking about. Like, hey man, what drove me to live?
So you find the meaning of, it's like finding the meaning of life, but you find the meaning of your life while you're in prison. If you soul search, that's what I did too.
So, look, I knew what I did and why, but I didn't know why I was doing it. Because there at the end, now at the very beginning, I was making a lot of money, so it was worth it. But there at the end, I had stopped making money. I was just doing it for favors, and I was like, why was I doing that? I'm doing these guys favors, and I end up getting in trouble. I deservedly so. I don't know.
I used to call it because I was still renting their friendship. I call it rent-a-friends. The ones that they run away when you get indicted. I call it my rent-a-friends.
And I hear people say all the time, well, they were just using you. It's like I
used them too. I used them too. I used the hell out of them. Even if I was giving them money, I still used them.
Yeah, I use them as much as they ever used me, and I hold no hard feelings toward anybody that made deals or whatever. Because
I'd have ran from myself too if I was my own friend. I would have ran from me too.
You need to let everybody know though that calls into your show, because everybody thinks, well, I can take it to trial because they've interviewed me and they've only said this and they don't know this. They know. They're giving you a chance to. They got the puzzle.
Yeah, they just didn't pull up. They didn't pull up at 10 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, let's watch this guy for an hour." No, they've been man. They've been watching it from Whiteout, and your lifestyle is why they're there. It's not because you robbed the bank on that Tuesday. I knew I should have robbed the bank on Monday, like I always do. It wasn't because you robbed it on Tuesday, man.
Well, so they had been talking to me for 4 years, and I was sitting there convinced, like, well, they don't want me. They don't want me. They just want these other guys.
They have to meet the big guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's one thing that the agent, the FBI agent, the rest of me's like, dude, you knew we were watching you. Why'd you keep doing it? But I really didn't think they wanted me. I thought they knew a little bit. Turns out, they were just getting, let me have enough room to hang myself.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, you know, they stack up so much stuff on you to make you plead guilty. The smartest thing to do, if the FBI comes and they interview, they indict you, they've got their case. It's done.
Yeah.
You go to trial if you want to.
A reasonable doubt, hearsay, or suspicion will all get you indicted. In a state court, those are what you have. You need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Not in the feds, huh?
Well, and the thing about it is, you know, people ask you, well, that many felonies, how were you only got this? How you? Because I copped to it. I pled to it.
Yeah.
Now what?
Yeah.
The problem that they can tie you in when you have conspiracy charges in. If you plead guilty to conspiracy charges, you're, whether you want to or not, you're tying everybody that was involved in it, whether you want to or not.
Right.
You know, and that's nothing. Everybody, you know, in camps like, well, I didn't take a deal. I didn't take a deal. Yeah, you did, or you wouldn't be in a camp. You took a deal. You pled guilty, and they don't tell you.
That's the deal. That's acceptability. Responsibility. What do they call it? Acceptance of responsibility. That's the deal you took. You snitched on yourself, man.
And those guys don't play. You can go in there. Hey, I'm here to talk about me. I'm not talking about nobody else. Blah blah. Man, them guys will tell you real quick. No buffet. You don't pick what you want, but you don't. Here's what we've got. You plead guilty to all of it or none of it. And if you don't want to plead guilty to all of it, or you just want to keep on this same old story, we'll see you in court, and you'll do your 25 years. So,
and you know what? Did you meet? I met guys at the camp that it was. They said they won their first 2 trials, and now they're here because they lost the third one. I'm like, wait a minute. You took it to trial and you won? Yeah, but then like 2 years later they came out with more evidence, and you won that one? Yeah, but so they kept coming back. So they keep coming back till they get you. That's why they drop those charges. They'll use them later. Or your lifestyle hasn't changed. They're going to get you, man. Right? You know?
Yeah. And look, here's the thing. I mean, I heard everybody say, oh, well, you know, once you're in the Fed system, you're in it. They're going to come at you forever. They really don't. They really don't. If you get out, man, and behave and do what you're supposed to, that I'm quite sure that they got enough on their plate. When the time comes, they're going to be like, this guy.
They got their win. Once they get their win, they're done with you, man. If you're going to go do the same thing. No, because, I mean, they leave me alone, and I work with a whole bunch of guys that I did time with. They leave us all alone. They really do. Because, you know, they got their win, you know.
And really, when I look back, you know, and I told the guys this in prison, I look back, they were so nice to me. They were so, you know, they were professional. There was nobody being a prick about it. It just, you know, like it was. It's like they told me, here's what it is. We've got this on tape. Here's you doing this. What do you want to do? You want to go to trial with this on tape? And here's another thing I tell everybody. If you hire a lawyer and you pay this man, you're hiring him for his expertise. He tells you do something, do it. It's
not like a state court. They don't wheel and deal in numbers and they go play golf with the prosecutor, man. It's not in the feds, man. Maybe they play golf once in a while with each other, but I even doubt that. But they're not making deals, man.
If you hire a lawyer and he tells you do something, do it. You hired him. You can't do it on your own. A public defender is going to hang you. A public defender.
I say save your money, get a public defender or a court appointed, and give that money to your family. Did you know that in every district, I think there's 26 districts, I might be wrong, there's only 1 or 2 public defenders in that office, maybe 3. The rest are actual lawyers that they're on, you know, they're on a contract with the federal government. There's only 2 or 3 actual, I just said the word, public defenders. And in the feds, if you're a public defender in for the federal government, you're good. That's a high position, not like the state. So even the outside lawyers want to become public defenders for the feds. You know. Yeah. I don't know if you knew that. And very few districts even have 3. San Francisco, Oakland they had 2 guys, 2 public defenders. That was it.
The public defender that I first got, he came in. He looked like he was stressed out. He told me he couldn't get me out on bond.
I was like, well, should I go with an attorney? Should I pay for one? He's like, yeah, man, with your charges, you're going to need a good lawyer. So my family knew some lawyers. They recommended this guy. If you're in the Northern District of Alabama, man, Brett Bloomston is a fantastic attorney and really cared.
There are good ones out there that will work. There are some. I hear about it.
Yeah, this guy got to know my family, got to know my son, was constantly praying with my mom, and, really, and that's another thing, too. It's so important these guys understand. When you go in there are going to be some hard times. There's going to be some sad times. There's going to be times you're down. If you go to make that phone call, your mother, your father, your wife, whoever, be happy, be jubilant, while you're on that phone call, because they're suffering too. If it's not that bad in there, let them know it's not that bad in there. Don't play Billy Badass and have your family worried about it, because it's not that bad in there. If you go in there, you respect everybody, you stay out, you mind your own business, don't get any gambling debts, you'll be fine. You'll come out of there a better man.
Stay away from cigarettes. Stay away from cell phones. I smoke, but stay away from cell phones. And if you're going to gamble, don't gamble on credit. Only gamble what you got on you. But I wouldn't even do that.
I smoked for 20 years. I quit for a year and started back when I got out, when I could buy them again legally. I should have stayed quit, but I didn't. But I never drank.
They were cheap. They were so cheap. So I'm smoking these I could get a pack sometimes for $20, Marlboros. Sometimes. Normally $40-$50 for a whole pack of real cigarettes. And in the USP, you can't even get a rollie for $20. And I'm getting a pack.
But here's the thing. Out here, you can't smell a cigarette on nobody. In a prison, when somebody smokes a cigarette or a joint, it smells up the whole place.
In the morning. The guards smell it on you too in the morning and stuff. We only smoked at night after the guards went home. Did you have it where one guard watched the whole camp at night?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we would smoke. We didn't smoke in the daytime.
We had three that circled around, and they come through looking through the window.
Yeah, they'll get the guards from the medium across the street, or they'll come do the counts with you. But then there's one guard just sitting there all night on the graveyard. I think from 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. 4 a.m.
It got crazy after they shut Atlanta down. They brought all those guys in. Those guys were wild. Those guys, they were a whole different breed, and they were convicts. Those guys were convicts, and they came in, and things just and luckily I got to go home like 2 months after that. But when those guys came in, I was like, you know what? They done told me I'm going home. I'm gonna stick to myself. And look, I was a drug dealer that got caught and got put in prison with other drug dealers and white collar guys. You know who I hung out with? White collar guys. Because I knew those doctors, those lawyers, those mayors and stuff like that, they weren't going to be the troublemaker.
No, they weren't. There were some, though, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying I didn't hang out with all of them, but the guys that, the guys that were always in the library, that's the guys I wanted to be around, because they weren't doing stupid stuff. The guys that were always huddled up in the corner with a deck of cards in their hand, I didn't want to be around them. And another thing, you go join a card game and these three guys know each other, don't sit down and gamble with those guys, because they're bumping feet under the table. You're about to get hustled. And I saw.
You don't need to be in a car. At camp, you don't need to be in a car, man. Have a square car.
I'm talking about a card game. I'm talking about they're playing.
Playing in the car. In prison, they got the race cars. I'm talking about that. You car.
And when those guys would come down, they would try to start that crap in there. And for the most part, and I would tell you this: if you're over 35 years old, stay off the damn basketball court, because you're not what you used to be. And you get out there and twist an ankle. You don't get to make a doctor's appointment. You don't get to go to the doctor. It's not like if you're a short timer, man, you got 2 or 3 years, go to the dentist, get your teeth clean, get everything taken care of before you go in there. Another thing me and you were talking about the other day, it's very important. If you're a white collar guy and you're not going to be able to go back into that field that you were in, if you're any kind of guy, if you've got 3 or 4 months till you go turn yourself in, man, go to one of these CDL places, get your CDL. Because right now there's a shortage of truck drivers. And you come out, dude, I'm making more money now than I did when I was working the job I had that I was on for 25 years. I make more money now in 1 week than I was making there in 2. And
I know they're hiring people when they get out. And the POs are letting them cross state lines for the job. A lot of them are. My buddy Chris,
Yeah.
he lives in San Diego. He does it. I did time with him, and there's a little CDO. There's another guy that did time in prison, in a state prison, but he has a little school for people. It's free. He gets grants for it, and he'll take care of your CDL training, license, everything, and it's on an incentive thing. You pass and you get license, he'll find you a job, and it's all this guy's doing great stuff. I can't remember the name of his organization. I would plug it for you, but I will find out. But there's a lot of people doing good things to give back, and trucking. You are damn right. You're damn right. Get your CDL, man.
Get your CDL, man. Come out. You're in a truck by yourself all day. You get to see the world in the country anyway, and make really good money doing it. And you're by yourself, and you don't have to answer to nobody. I love it. I've got the best life now. Like I said, I watched that video of me and you 4 years ago, and I was so scared. 3 years ago, however long it's been, I was so scared.
I've been out 5 years. Yeah, good before.
And I hear these guys now that come on your show, and they're so nervous, and I was too. And I mean, I'm 6'4", 400 pounds, and I was nervous because it's fear of the unknown. But it's like any of those places, man. If you go in and just do your time, just, man, don't get involved in the he said. If there's a fight, you're not in high school. Be glad you're not in it. Don't look at it, because then you're a witness to it. Don't be a witness to nothing. If there's guys doing stupid shit in the bathroom, if you go up on the yard and pee. Go up on the rec yard and pee. Go to another dorm and pee. You don't have because whatever you see, if they get caught and you saw it, you were a witness. They're gonna even if they don't.
I don't know how many of those people in that prison are coming back to a prison. I've heard 70%, 80%, but don't let it be you, right? You know what I mean?
Look,
I could tell you, if I took a walk through any prison right now, I spend a couple hours, I could tell you who's never coming back and who might come back, but who's definitely coming back.
Look, I was in there with so many guys that were back for violating probation, and they're in there smoking cigarettes and drinking toilet wine and all this crap. I'm like, dude, don't. At what point in your life you gotta get tired of this? And here's the thing: camp, low, whatever. If you're a man that loves his family, loves his kids, loves whatever, it's hell on earth just being away from them when you're at work. So imagine being in prison, only able to talk to them twice a day for 15 minutes if you're lucky. And another thing, guys, I was divorced when I went in there. My kids were grown. I didn't have the stress that a lot of. If you're married, you can't expect this woman to sit by the phone because she don't know what time you're calling. If she don't answer the phone.
That part, because there's guys yelling and screaming at their wife. Really?
Yeah, it's like, man, you've been waiting to talk to this woman for 3 days. You finally get her on the phone. Now you want to jump on her. Now you give her a reason.
And then you're court. And why didn't you answer? What'd you do yesterday? What did you? They're asking her why did she enjoy her life? I mean, they're jealous. They're trying to run a household from a prison phone, man. It's the funniest thing. Yeah. You see, in the county jail, you should hear them trying to run a household, man. It's worse there.
The thing about it is, like, man, if she chose to stay and have your kids and ride with you, and y'all are staying together, she's out. You're the one in prison. Don't bring her in there with you.
Plus, you did this to her. That's a lot of people don't. You did this to your family. You chose this life, and this is the consequence of choosing that life. You did this to your family. They didn't do it to you. You abandoned them.
Yeah, if you're lucky and you're on pre-trial for 2 or 3 years, you've got plenty of time to get back right with your family before you even go. And I had time to get right with my family before I even went.
Yeah, Anthony, if you're still on here, like I told you before, Anthony, you grab your son, you grab your daughter-in-law, you grab her 10 times a day, and you just hug them and tell them you love them for no reason. I don't care if you just had a fight with them. You do that every day.
How much time does Anthony got?
How much time is Anthony got?
You know, his lawyer's going to probably ask for maybe a year, but he's looking. His numbers are, I think he has 26 points. He could do 36 months. It's he was going to come on and talk about it because they keep adding things to his PSR. They're pulling up his past some domestic violence thing here. It happened 11 years ago when the cops dismissed it, and it was but they keep adding stuff onto him, man, and it's.
Yeah, if you remember my points were like 11.
Oh, he's still here. Anthony, you want to pop in real quick? I'll put the link on your cell phone. Just you want to come in and talk. Tell us about that real quick. The link, I got the link there now. Just click it if you're. I think you touch it with your finger if you're on your cell phone.
If he gets 36, he's not going to do 36. Not right now.
No, that's what it's here. I'm 24 is my guess, maybe, but I'm hearing. I mean, after talking to you, I've heard people get probation. They've been on my show. Can't believe it.
Yeah,
but then I had a guy with 8 pounds of marijuana. They gave him 15 years but he did everything wrong to piss off the judge.
Yeah. Well, you know, I made that judge a promise that he would never see me again.
Here he is. All right, he did it. Hey, there he is. All right.
Hey, Sean, it wouldn't let me in earlier. I'm sorry.
Oh, would it? Oh, I wasn't me.
No, it's my internet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So here's the guy that got 8 months, Anthony, and you were what? I think you guys had similar guidelines in the beginning, but different charges, completely different charges.
Yeah. So I think, Sean, I told you the AUSA is actually asking below guidelines, which my lawyer said is very unusual. Usually they ask for guidelines. So they're asking below guidelines. They got me for 36 months. You know, but the lawyers, they don't tell you, you know, he tells me he thinks between 12 and 18 months, but who knows?
Well, I'll tell you that, Anthony, you'll get good time. 85% good time.
Yeah, you get that.
Stay away from cigarettes, cell phones. Stay away from gambling. Stay away from crap. Yeah. You'll get them 3 months. You'll get that 15%.
Chris, the First Step Act credits, even if they don't have programs there, they let you sign up on a list, right? And you get credit for being on the list, right?
Yeah. You get credit. You'll get credit for orientation. I mean, those classes are garbage. I didn't take them because you got guys in there for real estate fraud teaching real estate.
I know. Remember I told you that before you went in. They wanted me to teach income tax. That's why I'm here. Really?
Yeah. Why do I want to learn real estate from somebody who's in here for fraud? You know, and then there, you know, there'll be guys in there teaching business class, and they're in there for embezzlement, and you're just like, and then they're still talking about, like, one of my guys kept saying, man, that sounds illegal. Well, it's not ethical. Well, if it's not ethical in the feds, that usually leads to some kind of illegality, and I don't want to end up back here. Yeah, I don't want to buy real estate, no way. But yeah, Anthony, if they're going to tell you,
I learned how to make a hydrogen bomb out of salts and well, I can't tell the ingredients from a guy who was there for setting forest fires on fire. He was a forest fighter, but he wanted work, right? So you know, when there's no fire, there's no work. So he caused them, right? You know, but he taught us how to make hydrogen bombs out of household items.
What's one of the biggest things you're worried about, Anthony?
You know, to be honest with you, I've kind of come to terms with it. I think once I'm sentenced, I'll be able to breathe because it'll be like
the biggest.
The 24th? Is it the 24th, Anthony?
Yeah.
The biggest relief in your life is when they give you that number.
Yeah.
Whether it be 18, 24, because then you're like, oh, it is. That's what I got to do.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Anthony, don't get a calendar. Don't look at the calendar.
Yeah.
Don't look at the calendar. Get you what do you do for a living?
I was like retail management. That's what got me into trouble.
Okay. What you need to do, get out there, and I'm telling you, get on the yard work, the yard detail.
Yeah.
Grass, dude, I'm telling you, those guys would get up in the morning at 6 o'clock, go to work, be back, come back and eat at 12. By 2:30, they're in the shower. Their day's gone.
Yeah.
Then they're watching TV or doing whatever, reading a book. I was in there. I didn't want to do it because I got a bad back. I want to go up on rec and lose some weight. Rec's a good job. You don't want to do food.
They have jobs outside of the camp, right? right? They take you to town and like do work
hey,
for Parks and Rec.
If you're only in there for 24 months or 18 months or whatever,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
right.
going to get
That's
you're
right.
not going to get Unicor. You're not going to get Unicor. That's for guys with 8-9 years because they don't want to get in there and train you and you be gone.
Yeah.
And really, that needs to be for the guys in there for a long time to kind of ease up on their families. Now you'll have a whole new appreciation for work. You'll be so happy on the 17th when that $9 check hits.
Yeah.
When you worked all week, all month for $9, you made enough to buy a bar of Coke.
How many times were you ever late for work there, or missing for sick, calling sick?
And I'm gonna
I
tell
don't
you
think
this:
I ever missed a day work, and I was never late. I was never late, man.
your whole life is going to change when you get out. I don't know what time you're used to getting up.
I looked forward to going to work. 12 cents an hour, but I looked forward to it, man. You know.
Yeah. And the day goes by fast. Look, Anthony, I'm gonna tell you something. If you go get a job teaching a class or in that library, your ass is you're going to be so bored. The days are going to be so slow. Get outside, get some sun on your face, make them days go by.
Yeah.
Don't look at a calendar. Don't gamble. Don't even go in the TV room, man. Find you a book. Get you a buddy in there, one good buddy you can talk to, and y'all tell funny stories, and y'all get up on that track, man, and hit that track, lose some weight. I lost a few pounds in there. I met one of the guys that's still one of my best friends today, man. We had so much in
Daryl, I
common.
want to answer that question. Daryl in a minute.
But we would talk about our families and our kids and stuff like that, because you're going to meet some really good guys in there that just did stupid crap.
Yeah.
But don't be the complainer, man. Look, because if you get the whole 36 months, if you get 60 months, there's guys that's been in there 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're gonna go in there saying, "Man, I should have got fucking 2 years," and they almost want to just shake you.
Some of the biggest arguments I saw with somebody with 3 years, man, I just got 36 months. And there's a guy that's done hammer down 15 that's got 9 more. He don't want to hear that. He don't feel sorry for you. He don't care. He just came from a place where he had to watch his back. And, now he's in a place where he can walk outside and do whatever he wants.
I'm standing in the chow line one night, right? As a new guy, right? And I say, hello. I go, how much time did you get? He goes, 50. I go, 50 months, huh? He goes, no, 50 days. I go, what? 50 days? What the fuck? And everybody jumped back. They go, nobody wanted to talk to him. 50 days? What? Who does that?
Yeah. And there are, the first couple months are rough. The first couple months are just because you're away from your family.
Yeah, it's surreal. You feel like you're in a movie, but it's frozen or something in time. That's weird, man.
I'll tell you this, Anthony. If you get somewhere and you like it, and the time's going by fast, ride it out.
Yeah.
That halfway house.
Yep.
That halfway house, the crapshoot. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I never was worried about anything where I was at. When I got in that halfway house, it was dirty. Everybody sick. You're crammed in there like a bunch of ants. If one of them gets sick, you're all getting sick because you're a foot at half apart. They're all over you. They're 2 or 3 stacked, 2 or 3 high. Now it may not be that way now, but that's the way it was when I was in there.
Yeah.
And then the hot water heater kept going out all winter. I used to hear them guys screaming. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, I want to answer this question to Daryl real quick, guys. About it, say you're doing 3 years, is your wife going to be faithful, kind of thing? Since you probably never talked to your wife while you're out doing those crimes and stuff that got you in prison, maybe now's the time to sit down with her and have that discussion and tell her, hey, I don't expect you to be waiting for me. Go, you just, don't fall in love. Maybe go have your fun. And, I would have that talk with her before you go in instead of guessing while you're in there. She's going to stay faithful. Because now's maybe the time you start to communicate if you want her to wait for you.
I told my wife, she was about 10 or 11 years younger than me, and she was a pretty girl, and she didn't want to stop living like we were living. So I just told her, I said, look, I'm going to do you a favor because I can't take care of you in there. I don't know how long I'm going to be in there. I'm going to go ahead and divorce you and you're still young enough to go find somebody else that can take care of you because I didn't know how long I was going to be there. But I didn't want that headache. My kids were grown. She was my 3rd, 4th wife. I didn't want that headache. I didn't want that headache. Now, if she'd have been my kid's mother
We'd been married for 20 years, maybe, but we hadn't been married for a solid year, maybe, and I just didn't have a headache.
You know, in my case, I was engaged to be married. I paid $5,000 for the wedding, for the catering company. I bought a $7,000 ring, and we got indicted. She got indicted too, and so I didn't, wait for me. She wore a wire and tried to, snitch on me. I wasn't mad, guys. I told her, had you never met me, you wouldn't be in this position. I hope you got a good deal. I already told them. I don't think they can find anything else out on me, but. And they made it so I couldn't talk to her the whole time on pretrial or while I was in prison or on probation. So now it's been 12 years. I don't know if she hates me now or what, but so that's what they did to me.
Well, and so you're going to plead guilty to this, I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah.
You already did.
I'm awaiting sentencing on Monday.
Yeah.
You
plead guilty. You plead guilty way early, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Maybe you know what? That is the day. Maybe you actually plead guilty, right?
Well,
it's not guilty.
I don't know if you told it.
You always say not guilty till that. I can't remember.
I don't know if you told Anthony this, but Anthony, if you pled guilty early and you didn't make them jump through a bunch of hoops, they're probably going to take it easy on you.
Yeah, I got arrested.
When you signed that pre-sentence report, when you signed the deal. But it's still not that's technically that's not pleading guilty, I don't think.
No, Sean, I got arrested on December 6th. By February 6th, I had already pled guilty, signed, and I had a sentencing date on February 6th.
But now they keep adding stuff, and you didn't sign for that, so they gotta take that back, right? Once you sign, they can add shit on, but they do, right?
Yeah, there were information charges that were in on February 6th, so that's fine. The things that they keep adding are like from my criminal history. They keep adding enhancements, and that fucking pisses me off. They keep adding these little bitty things. Like my ex-wife walked into my house, Chris, 7 years ago, and she tried to push me out of my own house. She kept coming in my house, so I pushed her out the front door, and her elbow hit the door, and she had me arrested on domestic violence. So they keep trying to charge me, 2 extra points for that. Well, it's fucking 20 months extra for something that was dropped. So we've been fighting all that bullshit.
Yeah, and they'll bring up.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, make sure too. All your parking tickets, you make sure you don't have any warrants. Make sure everything's cleared up.
Remember, Anthony, I told you about the parking tickets. That can be a container, and you won't go to a camp, man.
I don't have
time. Yeah.
If you got any warrants, take care of them before you get in there.
You got a headlight. You got a failure to fix a headlight, man. You didn't take care of it. You need to go take care of it, man.
Yeah.
No.
If you've got any tickets, anything.
Like tickets? What do you mean tickets? I'm like.
A jaywalking ticket. Okay,
you got
no air in your left tire. He says, "I need you to fill that up and then take this ticket into court and they'll dismiss it, and you don't do shit."
Okay.
If you owe any fines to any municipal court, state court, any court.
No.
Matter of fact, there's a number you can call in your state.
Those cameras, when you run a red light and the cameras take your picture, it comes in the mail. That's fairly paid.
I don't have anything like that.
Because when it comes time for your good time in your halfway house, if you've got any outstanding warrants or unpaid tickets, you won't get it.
Yeah. No, I don't.
They won't let you go out until that's fixed, but they got to release you on your.
Yeah, you'll get released on your release date. You won't get any early time.
But Anthony's he's not sure about halfway house. He doesn't know if he wants. He's thinking no, he doesn't want to do it.
No, I mean, do you know what prison you're asking to go to?
Yeah, so I asked to go to Otisville, and if they can't, which is 4 hours from my house, it's like 400 miles. And if they can't do that, I asked to go to Berlin, which was another 400 miles. It's in New Hampshire. So I'm in Mass, so it's either New York or New Hampshire. There's no other prisons in between for camps.
I think there's Devon. It's in Massachusetts.
It's a medical camp. It's medical.
Oh, it is medical. That's medical. Yeah, right.
Well, I'll tell you this, Anthony. I'll tell you this. I was in your shoes a while back, 3-4 years ago, and I thought it was in the world.
Yep.
Dude, I really did.
And I was, I can't remember a day I was in there I was sad or depressed. I made the most of every second of it in there. I learned, I talked to interesting people and guys that had been involved in mob. Some of the stories you're hearing there is crazy from them old guys, and then you know they're not lying.
You come back with great memories, Anthony. There's bad days too, but you're gonna have memories of.
And I'll tell you, the day you leave, it's bittersweet. You're going to be sad because there are going to be friends in there that are staying, and you're going to hate it for them. And man, those when you go to hug those guys by, man, you would never think I'm going to leave a prison and be sad to be missing some of these guys, but it happens. And they'll be friends with you when they get out. You'll see them on social media and you'll be happy for them. Now sometimes you can't interact with felons for so long and all that.
Yeah.
But you still can look in on them and see that they're working and they're doing good. And
we're still waiting for a couple guys to get out. I got 4 guys that we did time with. So there's 2 more guys coming out like in 2 more years. But we're going to have a job waiting for them. Apartment. We're there for them, man. We're their family now.
Sean, Sean, you did ask me if I cooperated right away. I did right away, like right away.
I did too. Of course, my fiance. I tried to snitch back on her. They said can't do it. It don't work that way. They said. I cooperated on myself. I told on myself. I laid everything out, and that saves them all the trouble of having to take it to court and all that extra money. And so they give me a couple points off.
What was that, Chris?
That helps that you cooperated right away because I played hard to get.
Yeah.
They came at me in 2014. I acted like I didn't know nothing, wouldn't tell them nothing. Went off some really bad advice to say I don't recall certain things, and they just kept building a case. I would have only been charged with a couple conspiracies, but I kept going and going until they finally hooked me up and pinned me down with some distribution. And if I would have just got a lawyer when they first called me in there, pled guilty to what they had, I probably would have got probation.
How long were you on pretrial, Chris?
A year and 9 months.
See, I've only been on pretrial for 6 months, and it's done Monday.
But he has come a long way, though, Chris. He has come a long way. He's taking accountability. He's taking outside help. He's volunteering. He's come a long way. He's got some more, a little more. He's got repairs with his family, but he's getting there, man. He's good dude. Anthony's good.
What they're going to take in consideration for Anthony, I believe, is you didn't cost them a person chasing after you.
Right.
That you were indicted, you copped to it. That's gonna speak well for you because I drug it out and fought it. My co-conspirators drug it out from 2014 to 2019. They were none too pleased for us to come up in 2019 and say, "Oh, you're gonna throw all this time at us? We'll
KY."
Yeah, you're right because like I said, my guidelines were 41 to 51 months, and the attorney's only asking for 36, which my public defender said that's not usually what they do. They never usually ask for under guidelines.
Yeah, and look, here's the thing. They changed the law now. The judge don't have to go by the guidelines no more.
Right.
He can give you less. Now, he can
and they can give you more.
Yeah, he can give, but they very rarely look. If you go in there respectful, remorseful, sorry for what you did, and they can tell. They've seen it every day. They know who's bullshit and who's serious.
I got to pull up the show I did with the guy. He had like 8 pounds of weed, 15 years or some ridiculous amount. He was looking at a year, but he did everything wrong on pretrial and told everybody to fuck off. I'm going to rerun that show. I got to find it because it's a good show to watch so you know what not to do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, Anthony, when they arrested me, they brought the squad. I mean, they brought 18 SUVs, 35 agents. I was scared to death.
Yep.
And see, I was addicted to pain pills when I went into jail. I was in jail for 7 days, and I went through withdrawals, no help. And I said, when I got out from my bond hearing, I went and talked to the judge. They even told me, well, you got a prescription, you can do that. I was never touching that crap again because I couldn't believe I let something that small have that kind of control over me. I think one of the main reasons that I stayed A1 okay since I've been out is I'm not an addict anymore. If you don't have any addictions, alcohol, drugs, women, money, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And when you, and I'm telling you, these last 6 months, you've been straight as an arrow. You're going to be straight as an arrow in prison because that's how you get out early. You don't want to be. You want them to have to come up and ask. If they come up 3 months, 4 months after you're in there and ask to see your ID badge, you're doing the right.
Hey, this guy KY, he's done the USP. It looks like he's worked his way down. The link's on there, KY, if you want to join us too. Tell us something we don't know, because none of us have been to a USP. I only know I have friends that have, but I met them inside,
Yeah, but like I said, if they're coming up to you for 3 or 4 months and they're asking to see your ID card, they don't know you. You're doing right.
Yep.
You don't want them to know you. You don't want the guards to know your name. You don't want the managers to know your name. You don't want to be that problem guy. Yeah. And if you're lucky like I was, and it starts getting overcrowded, you'll be one of the first ones. See, they sent me home or sent me home because when the case manager finally met me 3 months in, I was the second biggest guy in there. She'd never seen me before. She's like, "Where have you been?" I've been working.
Like our friend Brian, he went in a few days ago. He's got all these demands for his case manager. He's got here's all the work you're gonna do for me. It's all written. He's in for a soccer, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing, don't be in there every week, especially if they start talking about that First Step Act crap and everybody there. Because here's the thing, there are guys that I was in prison with that had all their First Step Act points that are still sitting in there waiting.
Yep.
When it's your time, it's your time.
Well, here's the thing: if I don't want to go to a halfway house, what the fuck difference does it make with the First Step Act? That doesn't matter to me. So.
Yeah. No, and I'll be honest with you. Some guys love it, dude. I would have stayed. I was in Talledega. It was nice. It was safe. Food was all right. I had friends there. I never got any trouble the whole time I was in prison. I went to the halfway house and got 2 shots.
Yep.
2 shots. And one of them was my last day when they were taking my ankle monitor off. I had a pack of cigarettes in my car. I was at home on home confinement. I went up there, was doing once a week, doing my drug test. I never had cigarettes in the car. But the last day I went up there to have the ankle monitor removed. They went out there and went through my car, found a pack of cigarettes, and tried to give me a shot. Like, I don't even stay here no more. I didn't have it on the property. I didn't bring it inside. And what made me mad is if they had just walked back there where everybody was at, there was 45 men back there smoking cigarettes. Mine were in my car. So it's not what it's cracked up to be. It's a lot of temptation. If you've been in prison for 2 or 3 years, now all of a sudden you can get in a car and go somewhere for an hour. There's going to be times because you don't have that ankle monitor on when you're getting to go out and go shopping and stuff. It's a lot of temptation, man. Getting a woman to meet you on the side of the road. I know a lot of guys that went back because they got caught at a hotel with a woman. When you get in a halfway house, there's women in there. Mess with them. Don't even look at them.
Yeah.
They're flirty, dude. Don't get caught up in that because that's a charge.
Yep.
But there was when I was in there was a woman. She was having sex with a guy in the Supermax, and she ended up getting 2 years. I did a story on it. He even called in the show once. It happens, but it was consented. But don't. She came on to him, but listen to him. Don't come on to them, okay?
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. That's one thing I was worried about because we all do it. You get in trouble. You start looking at all these prison shows, and you got these guys that's been in penitentiaries and they're telling these horror stories about rape and stuff like that. There's a thing called PREA now, and it's the Prison Rape Elimination Act.
Yeah.
You can't even joke with somebody. You can't even say, "Hey man, nice shoes," because if that offends somebody, if you got some liberal snowflake in there who's offended, he can go file a charge on him.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you there, KY?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you can handle talking to campers, but I know you've been to Big Sandy and all that, man. I know you guys. Hey, I made your bologna sandwiches, man. We emptied your trash. We did your laundry, man.
Yeah, it's a crazy experience, man. Oh yeah, it's a crazy experience. I started out at Big Sandy, and I heard all the stories, man. While I was going through transit, they sent me to Oklahoma, and they was like, "You been to prison before?" I was like, "No, man, it's my first time." And they're like, "Oh, you'll go to a camp."
Shit.
They're like, "You're going to a." I'm sorry.
No, they told you you're going to camp, but you weren't, though, were you?
No,
Eventually,
so when I was right, no, I never did make it to a camp. As far as I got was to a low. So, but when I was in transit and I went to Oklahoma, every day I went to my case manager down there, and I was like, am I designated yet? And she was like, no, not yet. And this went on for 3 weeks, and then finally that last day, she was like, yep, you're designated. And I was like, where am I going? She said, you're going to USP Big Sandy. And I was like, oh my goodness.
A lot of hardcore guys.
What the hell, you know?
Yeah. There's a few of them got YouTube channels now. Came out of Big Sandy. I forget who they are, but there's a lot of hardcore guys.
There was 30 of us on the bus, and I think I lost you.
Me?
I can hear you, man.
Okay. There's 30 of us on the bus when we showed up to the compound, and there's only 3 or 4 of us that went actually to the yard. The rest of them, was too scared to hit the yard, and they had to, for their safety, they had to go to the shoe. But yeah, it was intimidating.
Anthony, for coming from you, our camp is like a cakewalk, right? I mean, it's like going to high school, right? He's got nothing to worry about, right?
No, if he's going to a camp, he would have nothing to worry about at all.
A low, you get the chomos, right? But 70% sometimes.
Low is completely full of essays, chomos.
And they have cars.
Yeah.
They have their own car.
They have their own car, man.
Anthony, do you know what a car is? He might not know what a car is. You do?
Yeah, I know.
It's a steering wheel and you're driving up.
Anthony, it's still important to remember, camp, low, wherever. It's wherever you go, just don't go in showing your ass.
Exactly.
And they can make your life difficult if you're going to be a pompous prick and entitlement, and you can ruin your whole your sentence, man. You can fuck it all up in one day, man. So
yeah, because you're going to you're going to need.
Okay, how much time did you do all together? You did a lot, huh? All those prisons, a few years. I imagine.
I got a 7-year sentence, and I did 67 months.
Okay. No write-ups, no shots, nothing like that. No time taken away.
No, I didn't get no trouble. My cellie, he was making. I was in a 2-man cell at a FCI at a medium, and we were out on the yard. I was playing cards with some buddies, and I came back into the door in the unit, and my cell was locked. And a couple of homeboys came up and they was like, "Man, they shook down your cell, and they took some liquor out of there." So my cellie was making liquor in his own locker, and they locked us both up. And I had to spend 30 days under investigation, but they released me, and my cellie took ownership.
Yeah, 90 days. Yeah, that's quick.
Right. Yeah. Now, if he didn't own up to it, then they was going to drag us both out, but he owned up to it. So,
how long?
Hey, Gavin, how we doing? Gavin Paparazzi Phillips. Okay. Sean, it's Gavin. Oh, I know now. Now I know who you are. Yeah, from Vegas. Yeah. Dude, you want to come on too? There's a link. Oh yeah, this guy. Hell yeah. You know what? I've interviewed a lot of people that are out of prison now, and they were on. I did shows with them before they went in, and it's just that in itself. When you get to see somebody after prison, and they're completely different people, man. You know what I mean,
yeah,
Chris? You're not.
That's what I'll tell Anthony. A couple of years, you're going to be calling back in. It's not even going to be like you were there. Like I said, the biggest thing is, go in there, get you good friends that you can trust. You don't want to go in there and try to be in there and be Mr. Popular. Like I said, all those
yeah.
They end up being carrier pigeons for the big guys, and when they were the ones getting caught with the shit into the hole, getting time added, just so they could be friends with someone. I was 40. Yeah. I turned 43 in there. That's what I was telling you the other day, Sean. I turned 43 in there, and in 43 years, I had never had a birthday party before or since.
Oh yeah, tell these guys. Yeah, they did, man. He had the best birthday party. Tell him, man.
Those guys in there in the leather shop made all kind of gifts for me. Talked the COs into a damn radio. I've had a big stereo playing. Had a cornhole tournament, a pickleball tournament. They let us stay up there till 10 o'clock one night, man. They threw a party for me. It was the nicest thing anybody ever done for me.
Like I said, you're gonna have some fun nights in there. It's hard to believe there are gonna be some entertaining nights in there. And I can't speak for my man over here because I know he was in a rougher spot. But like I said, it is what. I mean, look, I know guys that were in that camp that you would have thought they were in the Holocaust the way they were carrying. They act like it's really not. You'll see fights in there now. There's gonna be some gambling debts that ain't paid, or somebody on a cell phone. You're gonna see somebody get their ass in there. That happens in a high school.
Now, tell them what happens in the USP though. Somebody's little bitch that as a tranny didn't make their money and bring it back because somebody tried to get it on credit and the whole place goes on lockdown, right? That's one time that happened where I was at the USP. It was all over a tranny, man.
Yeah,
they had their property, man. That was their property, you know. We had to go.
Right, I've seen a white guy lose his life over a book of stamps.
Yeah.
So they take it pretty serious, man.
Yeah, when you get there, you don't move people's shit around. You don't move their toilet paper roll here. You don't.
No.
Yeah, you're top of the locker. I had to move your bowl. No, you don't do that, man.
Yeah, you don't touch nothing. It's not yours.
You don't even move it.
Right. The whole time I was in the USP, I never seen one fist fight. It was always metal, shanks involved. I got to the FCI, the medium, and I saw a lot of fist fights and a couple of knife fights. And then when I got to the low, it was no knife fights. It was just every now and then you'll see a fist fight. Yeah, smacking. The low was set up like a dormitory. It had like cubicles.
Oh yeah, so big open bed, right? Yeah.
Big open bed. Yeah, it had like the bubble up front where the CO set. You had a bathroom. It had probably like 10 sinks and 10 showers and 10 stalls. The back stall was the bad stall. You never wanted to go there. There's always one stall you don't want to go to. There's usually homosexual activity in that stall. You know what I'm talking about. So
the showers have doors on. You'll see one guy's head, but then you walk by and there's 4 sets of legs, and you see the one head. You figure it out. Keep walking.
Come on.
Another thing too, the guys that clean those showers and those bathrooms, dude, they serious about them damn floors.
Orderly,
man, don't walk on that wet floor with your shoes on. But,
if you're shaving and your hair's in the sink, you can wipe all that. One little hair. Because I got schooled. Guy came back, dragged me over there to get the one little hair that I left in the sink, or maybe it was 2 hairs. And I didn't even, he yelled and screamed at me, and he had every right to. At the time, I didn't like it, but I get it now,
Yeah.
I did a show on this when you piss in the urinals. So there's 2 guys. We had 2 urinals, 2 toilets. If they were taken, so I went to go pee in the toilet. Oh, did I get screamed at, man? I almost got my ass beat for that one. Because I lifted the lid, I wiped everything down. I told the guy, no. What did you say? And oh man,
yeah,
he just
in the USP and the medians, it was real big on don't spit in the sink. Like no to spit in the sink.
Yeah. Now that same guy that was going to go off on me, and we were really good friends a year later. And we laughed about it, but at the time I didn't know, man. There's like, I was standing. I go, man, I wiped it down. You got the spray. I peed. There's no pee left there. He goes, no, man, you didn't. You need to think about what you just. And he just like, see, I was being a little resistant, and that was the wrong attitude, man. So I learned, man.
So the guy
they
that's
have
on
the
here.
rules, and you're not.
So the guy that's on here is going to a camp. He's got it made, man. He's only thing he's not going to have is females. Everything else is going to be pretty much like you're free, man. You're going to meet some good dudes. There's going to be, like you said.
He gets sentenced, 3 days? Anthony, he needs some, got some advice for sentencing day for Anthony here. It's on the 24th. Today's the 20th, right? So what are you talking Tuesday, Anthony?
Monday,
yeah. So you guys got some advice for sentencing day? He knows what I've said on the phone, but you guys got maybe, because is it KY? I bet you never forgot your sentencing day, right? It's the most important. To me, that's the most important day of your life that you'll never forget, because it's the day that changes everything,
When that judge gets you a chance to talk, Anthony, look him in the eye. Don't look at a piece of paper. Tell him how you feel at that moment. Let him know. You messed up. You know, you're taking accountability for it. Let them know that you're not that guy, and then most importantly, you're not going to be that guy. You know, I told the judge when I went, you can put me in here for a year or 10 years. It's not going to change a thing. I've already changed the way I was living. This is just the end game. 1 year, 10 years, it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to do this anymore. You know, and he believed it. And I have it. You know, I have it. I have no reason to. And one thing I found out since I've been clean, I make more money now, really. Now I'm not messing with that stuff. I actually pocket and bank, put more money in the bank than I was when I was doing stupid stuff. Because I'm not out spending it like crazy trying to make it. So when you do get a chance to talk to him, man, just you're going to have a ton of stuff wrote down. It's going to be you're going to be nervous, but if you'll just put yourself like you're talking to, like you're on a job interview, look that man in the eye and just be honest with him, you know, and he'll feel that. He'll relate to that. If you go up there and you recite, you know, crap you wrote down, you're just going through the motions. Look that man in the eye and tell him what you're really feeling.
And that's exactly what I tell people too. I mean, don't read a script. It's not you're not auditioning for a movie. Okay, you're not getting a Grammy here. Just speak. If you can't remember what you wanted to say, that's okay. That's a real thing.
As long as you're looking him in the eye so he can believe you. But if you're looking down at a piece of paper or you're looking away side to side, you know, like you're just trying to get through it, look him in the eye. Now, I can't hear because I don't.
Yeah, I tell everybody. So you got caught, you got busted, you get indicted. Now the judge convinced the judge why he shouldn't give you 20 years now, since you got caught. Okay, we know you pled guilty, but convince me not to give you 20 years. What have you done since you got caught to change? That's basically what you got to do, and you got to be real. You know.
Yep.
I will tell you this too: the guys like what is your name, buddy? I'm sorry, I didn't get it when you first come in.
Okay, it says okay. I don't know. What is it, Ken? Or what's the case stand for? What do you like to be called?
You're breaking up. I can't hear you.
I said, what do you like to be called? Is it Ken? K? I don't know what the K stands for. KY? What do we call you?
I can't hear you, buddy.
What do we call you? What do you like to be called? The KY? Is that Kenneth? What?
Yeah,
on
the yard they call me
What?
On the yard they call me KY, but my name's Chris.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, Chris. What's this KY? KY reacts. I didn't know. I didn't know what to call you. You know. That's all I'm asking.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
If you do get a chance,
yeah, I'm from.
Chris,
I was going to tell Anthony, if he gets in a chance to run into somebody like KY who's worked his way down from a medium to a low to a camp, you get in with a guy like that, and don't put yourself on him because they've seen and done way more than we have. But I was with a guy. I spent my last few months with a guy in there who had worked down from medium. He was so wise. He had done everything right because he had worked his way down. So, you know, he wasn't in trouble because he was working on getting out. And I hooked up with a guy like that, and you could trust everything he said. You know, he had been there, he'd done seen it, and he was working his way down.
Yeah, you know, work. You guys work to get that far, right? Yeah, that's a lot of years of work to get down those levels, right?
Oh yeah, you don't. Yeah, I guarantee you, Chris wasn't up there in Big Sandy catching shots, and you know, he put in his work and did everything right to get down. And congratulations on getting out, man. That's awesome. But if you get in with guys like that, their goal is to go home. That's your goal, to go home. You can. And it's the guys that are out here pushing cigarettes and coffee paper and all that dumb shit that's making them enough to buy a bottle of shampoo. Stay away from them. Stay away from them because they don't want to go home. They don't want to go home.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what the most popular TV show is in prison, guys? 60 Days In or Cops, right?
Yeah.
Go figure.
Crazy.
Look, I never watched TV. I think I watched one football game the whole time I was in there. Man, most of the time that TV room was so loud, especially if, you know, because we were down south, Alabama playing Georgia. Man, there would be arguments in there, bets, and, you know, I wasn't fixed to get no argument or no fight over a damn football game. I didn't play college football. I don't care.
How about the baseball games, though? The live baseball games, man. The best baseball games I've ever seen are in prison, man. Or softball, whatever.
Softball game.
Man, that's better than the major leagues, man. I'm telling you, man.
Like I said, I don't know how KY is. I went in my 40s, and at 400 pounds, the best thing I could do was stay off a damn softball field or a basketball court.
Yeah, well, it's what goes on in the stands, and you know, everybody yelling and screaming.
I love watching them. I enjoyed watching them. Yeah,
we had salt and pepper blacks against whites. We had over 50s against the under 30s. We had all kinds of, you know, we had racist teams fighting. Like it was the shit though, man. It was everybody got along, no fights, you know.
Yeah. What about the holidays? Y'all have good holidays in there? 4th of July.
You get watermelon, the barbecue outside, hamburgers, hot dogs, cake, watermelon, all kinds of stuff, man. Yeah, You take a plate back to your room sometimes. Shit, man. Holidays were going on, man. We used to do the outdoor concerts. I used to do these open mics, like talent shows, and I did all the cards. Everybody, mariachi band, rock band, country band, guys juggling, telling jokes. I had them. I was like the promoter. I put signs up for all month long. The guards would make me print up flyers and you know, because I was playing guitar and I had a band, but I had 15, 20 acts. I did it every 4th of July, and there was another guy who did it on Labor Day. We did that outdoor concerts with a barbecue, and we were not in prison that day. Not in prison that day.
Holidays and weekends are good because, you know, weekends you can sleep late, you don't have to get up. And another thing I'll tell you this, Anthony, about your family. You know, I didn't look. My mom and my brother-in-law and my brother, they came every weekend, and I would tell them like, "Hey, every day in here is the same. I do the same thing every day when I wake up. I eat the same thing on Mondays as I do on Tuesdays as I do on Wednesdays. It's the same food." There was no point. Their life had changed that week. Mine hadn't. So I would encourage, you know, I found it better on weekends if they didn't come, so I could sleep late or do what I wanted to. You know, to me, I didn't want, because on weekends you can wear your shorts and t-shirt.
Yeah, you look forward to your days off. You look forward to your days off.
If they're coming on visits, you got to dress up in your greens or your browns or whatever they have you wearing.
I know. Go do your beard.
I don't know how the phones are now, Anthony. When I was in there, it was during COVID. Our phones
were still free. They're still free. I just talked to a guy that just got out Friday. They're free still.
You're good, dude. The only thing you got to pay for is internet. Anthony, this is the one thing I'll tell you. Resist the urge.
All right. Thanks for coming on and keep in touch. We'll get you back on again.
Resist the urge to use a cell phone to FaceTime somebody. Just resist it. It's hard.
Yeah.
When you see it on their FaceTime, dude, don't worry about it. If they come visit you, you'll see them.
If somebody says, "Hey, I'll let you you want to make a call for free?" Don't do it, man.
Yeah. Hey, I'll get for a box for a 12-pack of Sprites. I'll let you have my phone for 10 minutes. If they catch that phone and find your family, everybody that you're gonna call, their number's on a list that the prison has for them to call, for you to call them. If they catch a number in that cell phone that's on your call list, and don't let nobody call your family for you, because if that number is on your call list, and you're getting that.
You think you delete it, and you don't delete it. It's pinged to that. It goes to a tower. The feds even have this kind of thing inside of their office. They get these. It's like a machine it's like a tower inside of the inside of the prison that will keep track of every phone. You know what I mean? They have a thing like that now. I don't know what it's called. Like a router. It's like a router that it keeps track of all the cell phone signals.
I spent 2 months in the SHU in quarantine. It was torture. I think solitary confinement and the SHU, I think it's an act of torture. I wish they'd do away with it. The guys that come out worse. You know, the reason these guys come out of these prisons, these penitentiaries and these mediums like animals is because they treat them like animals while they're in there. You can't treat somebody like an animal for 20 years and expect them to be civilized when they come out.
Yeah.
So I would advise you to don't do anything. You're not going to be in a place where, unless you owe a shit ton of money, you're not going to have to check in for your safety. But if you don't want to
I'm going to tell your wife not to answer any number she doesn't recognize right now.
Yeah. And you don't want to go to queue for 15, 20, 30 days because you lose your good time. You're stuck in a damn room with no phone, no TV, no nothing. A book.
There's a comment about the phone every too, Anthony, from K-Wire. Chris. His name's Chris too, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll get 3 to 6 months in the shoe for a phone.
Yeah.
And when you come out, man,
you ain't coming home early.
Not only have you lost your good time, but now you're a marked man. Now they're going to flip through your.
You probably get set to the low if they have the room and stuff. But you probably won't come back.
I've seen guys. If your points were close enough for low, but you got to a camp, you screw up in a camp, you're going to a low. If you screw up real bad, you're going to go higher.
Yeah.
So the bad thing is 36 months, you're not going to do all that. Everybody says, "Oh, Fed time, you do day for day." No, you don't. You go in there and behave. You can cut out. You can get more than 15%. You really can. Like I said,
take every class and program, sign up for every waiting list you can, and you know what? They're also taking. It's not just those first step acts. They're actually giving time off now, up to a year, because they're doing. They're just taking straight time off your sentence now too.
You got a man running for president right now. He don't want camp at all. He don't think there should be camp.
No, he don't. See, they can't lock him up because he has Secret Service and all these people that got to be around him and watching him. They can't have all that.
He doesn't think there should be camps at all, and really there shouldn't. The most you should have got, I don't care what you did, Anthony. You didn't kill nobody. You should have paid a bunch of money, paid some fines, went on probation. Yeah. It's different from what I did, and I knew I was breaking the law, and I was given several chances to stop, and I should have took them, and I didn't stop.
Yeah, it was wire fraud.
The black boxes that check the phone signal. Yeah, and they have like a big one now that's even bigger though. If you're going to make a signal call, that's
why I wouldn't want to do real estate. I wouldn't want to redo retail. I wouldn't want to be in government because you can make the simplest mistake and they can turn it into a felony.
Yeah.
Now with my
change a 4 to a 3 on your ledger, and that's all they need. That's conspiracy. That's cooking. That's laundering. There's a question for you, Anthony, about your guidelines.
My guidelines were,
and we lost them. His guidelines were, I want to say they were 26 points when they got in a category 2.
His higher than mine. You remember mine went blank.
Yeah.
You went blank.
Yep. So my guidelines were 41 to 50 months, and the U.S. attorney asked for 36.
How many points was that? A custody level points, and I mean, how many was that? 26 points with a category 2?
No,
what it was?
They had me 21 at a category 2.
Okay, 21. Okay.
But oddly enough, they're not asking for the guidelines for that. They're asking for lower.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. I would be surprised.
Keep adding, these little pricks, they got to keep adding shit on that you already signed a bill for.
My lawyer just actually, I'm his last case. He just got nominated to be a federal judge. And he told me the judge that I'm going up against is the best one in the state. She's very liberal, and she always sentences below guidelines.
So your attorney's going to be a federal judge. You're the last case.
Yeah, I'm his last case. You can actually look it up online. His name is Brian Murphy. He was just appointed a month ago.
Brian Murphy, is he there, huh? Okay, yep. He's going to be a federal judge. What's the district in Massachusetts? What's that district? Is it District 21? What's the number?
1. Circuit Court 1.
Oh, it's the first one. District 1. Because of the 13 colonies, right? That was probably the first established federal Department of Justice. I'm imagining, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Anthony, just know this: that first month or two is going to go by slow.
Yeah.
It's going to go by the first month or two. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Mine was in a damn shoe, so my first 2 months sucked. Then the first month on the yard, it wasn't that bad. It was kind of slow, but once you get into a routine every day, you get that routine going.
Yeah.
And you look forward to getting that work day over the You go hang out with your buddies and do whatever.
Did they have place for you to work out and stuff, Chris? Was there any
Yeah,
machinery?
They don't have federal prison don't have weights anymore. They got rocks in the bag and pull-ups and push-ups. I'm gonna tell you something. You can lose more weight and get more cut doing push-ups and burpees and stuff with your body weight than you could with weights anyway.
Yeah. Was there any machines or anything?
They
have ellipticals. They have
treadmills. They got the staircase things. They got exercise bikes, pulleys, and all that. You know.
There won't be any free weights to be slung around. Nobody hit nobody with or nothing. They took all that out. Now we had a bad problem with guys getting riprap and boulders and lifting those. And I worked in wreck, so I had to go around with iron wagon every day. Yeah, I would have to go around with this iron wagon and pick up all these big ass rocks and carry them back to where they find holes in the ground they fit in.
Yeah,
and that sucks in the summertime. But like I said, man, get you a job outside. That day will go by fast.
Yeah,
Anthony, I'm telling you, I don't know you, man, but I feel for you because I was there just a few years ago. I was I was supposed to do 60 months. Is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it went to 36 to 18. Now they did give me 15 years probation. I've still got 13 years probation left.
Yeah.
But I don't do anything wrong, man. I work and come home, so it's not bad. I'm confined to the Northern District.
Yeah.
It sounds like a big place till you get in a car and drive around, and you realize it's not that big.
Right.
But once you get on low supervision, you give them a 2 weeks heads up. You can still go on vacation. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And if you really what you want, if they're asking 36 months, you kind of want to get close to that because that'll be a year or so probation. See, the reason I got 15 years probation, my original charges carried up to 25 years.
Yeah.
And if I'd have went to trial, I would have done 25 years or more.
Yeah.
I have 30 felonies.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah. I had, it was 7 counts for me.
Yeah, I had 30, 27 conspiracy and 3 counts of distribution.
Yeah.
And you know, and I was guilty of all of it, you know, but it's one of those situations they didn't want me. They wanted the guys that I was messing with. And, you know, by the time it came down to me, they had all pled out. So there was really nothing to do with me but to sentence me. But the day they give you the sentence, whether it's 18 months, 36 months, whatever, you're going to feel so relieved, dude. It's going to be, because now you know. Right now, it's the worrying. It's the not knowing.
Yeah.
You know, they're saying 36. Is it going to be 48? Is it going to be 60? But in my experience, mine was supposed to be 60 months. That was the deal I made. By the time I got in there, it was 18. By the time I got to prison, it was 8.
Yep.
Now, mine was during COVID, and they had shut Atlanta down. And they shut Atlanta down. They brought a bunch of guys in. So all the guys that weren't giving no trouble, they sent us out of there.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're the number one advice I can give you, don't gamble.
No.
Don't get in anybody's business. You know, you don't see nothing, don't hear nothing. Don't, you know, stay to yourself, get you a couple friends you can trust. Find a nerd. Because the nerd ain't gonna get in no trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I hung out with old men and guys that I never would have hung out with in the street, but I trusted them. I knew they weren't gonna be sneaking cigarettes and stuff like that. And don't be that guy that's constantly running to the counselor and this and that about your time and your case, because they really don't care. They're dealing with 200 or 300 people. They don't have time for you. No way. Wait till the best time you'll have in front of your counselor is when they call you. If they call you to come in there, they got your face out. They're looking at it. They know what they're going to do for you. They've already, you know what I'm saying? If you just show up and want to talk about your case, they got a stack of papers. They're not going to tell you, they're not going to tell you nothing that you already didn't know. Wait till they call you. Be patient. Wait till they call you. They got your case in front of you. That's when they can tell you this day. They'll tell you what classes you need to take. Go to the classes. You're in the air conditioner. It's not bad. You're not going to learn nothing, but you're in the air conditioner. You know, like I said, you'll get a little piece of paper saying you went to class.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you'll lose it by the time you get home.
Yep.
But I will tell you this, brother. I was sitting there just like you are about a week before I was sentenced talking to Sean. I thought it was going to be forever. And it's still 13 years. I still got 13 years left to do. but I don't feel like it anymore.
So I have a question for you. How come they put you on so much probation? Because like, doesn't every crime have like a maximum amount of probation?
Basically, what they did, I had done so much community service. I had a really good lawyer. I had showed that I had changed. I had showed the prosecution and everything that I had changed. The judge said, well, if he's changed, and y'all all believe he's changed, we'll see. I'm going to give him 180 months probation. If he's changed, I'll never see him again.
Right.
If I think I'm going to see him again. So, but now if I go back, I'm doing all of it. You know, if I get in trouble again, I'm going to do all of it.
Right.
That's why. But, you know, here's the thing. They're like, you got to be a model citizen because you're on probation. You got to be a model citizen because you're supposed to be a model citizen.
Right.
Period. You know, you think about it like this. Think about it like this. Only less than 1% of the American population's in prison. Now, the other ones, there are guys that just haven't got caught yet.
Yeah.
90% of this country live and do the right thing. It's not hard. Get up, go to work, come home. You know, don't drink and drive. Don't sell drugs. Don't steal money. It's not hard to do the right thing. It's actually easier to do the right thing than it is the wrong thing.
Right.
Like my buddy Mark, the comedian, he says, "Do you think life's not fair? What if they sentenced you for every crime you ever got away with? How much time would you get? Aren't you glad life's not fair?"
Yeah. And look, you know, you're going to see guys in there. I with all those charges I had, you know how guilty I felt? I'd be in there with a guy who got caught with 2 things of fentanyl and he's doing 10 years. And I got caught with all this other stuff. You know, it made me feel bad. But it also made me feel blessed. And when you get in there, as soon as you start feeling sorry for yourself, you're going to see an old man in there that's 75 years old with no teeth and a bad back who's been in there for 40 years. You're like, man.
Now, but Anthony, a lot of them hadn't taken account. They weren't like you. They were so innocent the whole time there. They got set up. They did nothing wrong. They're going to fight this the whole way. They're you know what? They're already created their own prison. They hadn't even been sentenced yet. Anthony, you're way above them. That's why that guy. That's why the guy with the same charge, he got 3 times the amount of. He got 8 years, and you got 2. It's what he, because they don't. When he gets out, he's not going to be a troublemaker. You know what I mean?
There's guys there serving 25 years for weed, and it's legal in the state they got caught in. Those guys ought to be let out today. But Anthony, how old are you?
49.
Oh, you're good, buddy. You still got 50 years of life left if you're lucky.
Right on. He's off paper. I forgot to ask him. Good.
What's that, Chris?
Off paper. Do you know what that means? That expression, off paper. Do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, no more probation.
Yeah, or any kind of any ties on paper to any government agency. But yeah, they say off paper. When I first heard it, I was a square. I'm going, nah. I've heard people talking about, I'm off paper, motherfucker. I go, you ain't ever going to catch me saying that. Well, you caught me saying it.
I know some guys. I know some guys that got out on paper and violated and came back in and finished their probation in prison. So when they came out, they wouldn't be on probation. But that just lets you know they were going to come out.
They don't extend it. The state will start it all over again, but the feds don't. I was in there, guy. He was back for the 3rd time. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? You're back for the 3rd time? He goes, I only got to do 6 months and I'm free. I go, what do you mean? He goes, because I'll be off my probation. He didn't even mind. Because he goes, I got a monkey on my back. He goes, I like heroin. I like heroin, man. He goes, I like heroin. Yeah, so,
he wants to get back out and live the same life he was living.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, you're 49 years old. You'll be out before you're 52. You'll probably be out, honestly.
Yeah.
No, that's not Chris. That's not Chris Chapleton. I don't think your name's not Chapleton, is it?
Stapleton.
Oh, yeah. Wait, if it is, that's ironic because his name is Chris Stapleton. KY's name is Chris Stapleton.
Well, I bet he gets not a lot of damn compliments. I'm capable.
So, you're what?
I'm CAP. He's STAP.
Oh, okay, it is. Okay, Capleton, Stapleton. Okay.
How long did it take you to get your CDL, Chris?
See, that's what I'm saying. I had mine before I went in there.
Yeah.
But I re-upped it before I went in because it lasts 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So if you were to get it right now, you would have it when you come out.
Yeah.
If you were to get your CDL right now. Now the only problem is, you're going to get sentenced Monday. So if they give you 3 months, to turn yourself in, find you one of these little schools around here. It's like a 4 or 5 week school. You can double down, do your test, do your driver's test, get your A class. There's a shortage of drivers right now. Half of these companies are hiring with no experience. Man, a truck driver, A-class truck driver, that if you get an hourly job, it's $31, $32 an hour.
Even with a felony?
Huh?
Even with a felony?
They're hiring felons now.
I've got 30. I've got 30 felonies. I've had 2 truck driver jobs since I've got out. And each one, when I first got out, I was pouring asphalt, making $600 a week. Now I'm driving. I went driving a garbage truck, making $21 an hour, working a lot of overtime. Now I'm driving over the road truck, making 32, and and I get overtime and double time. It's crazy. I mean, my checks are $11, $12, $13, $14, $1,500 a week. Bring home.
Yep.
And you know what? If you're living right and doing what you're supposed to, you can make it on that.
Yeah, of course.
I don't care. I don't care about a recession.
Anthony, on that, and if you ever need a new company to work for, I got a couple of guys that are doing that, hiring felons. But Anthony, he's right. You plan for your release today. You don't even know how much time you get, but you plan your life. Get ready, prepare for that job, the job interview. Do it now. Don't wait till the day you get out of prison. You do it now. It also gives you hope. It also tells yourself that, hey, this is just a small part of my life. I'm going to get to this, and then I'm working on this career when I get out.
I was an inspector for a county, for Jefferson County in Alabama, and I told Sean, I called him the first time and did his first show with him from my office. I was like, dude, my life's over. I had this good government job. I had this great retirement. I'm never going to I'll be sweeping floors the rest of my life.
You didn't have the greatest job because you were doing those other things, or it wasn't so great. You wouldn't have been doing those other things. Well, I can tell you that now.
It was a cushy job. It didn't pay well, but it was cushy.
No, I know. I mean, I get that, but you weren't happy enough. You had to do other crimes, so something was going on.
And, a lot of my crimes were to cover my own addiction, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah. But your life was not over, right? And you'll even have better jobs, man.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you something. Your life is what you make of it.
Yeah.
There used to be. Back 20 years ago, if you had tattoos on your face or your neck, you were judged by those tattoos. Now half the judges.
Now CEOs have. Yeah.
Yeah, half the judges that sentence you got tattoos under those robes. It's not taboo. Being a felon is no longer taboo.
If you want to
felon was a bad word.
You don't need prison for that.
No, and I'm gonna tell you this. More people will give a convicted felon that's trying to start over a second chance than anybody else.
I see it every day.
I'm
out there. I'm talking to employers every day.
The last company that hired me, that old man looked me in the eye and told me, he said, I believe in second chances. I'm going to give you one. And, if you make it 6 months and you don't give us any problems, you'll make a good living here. I've been going on there 2 years now, man. It's the best job I ever had. And my life's better now. It's way better now than it ever was. Way better.
I don't know if I guys told you, but I got the higher regency, the whole chain of the higher regency, the whole corporation to change their policies about hiring felons. Now they do it based on an individual on the individual's on an individual basis. Before they would never hire that because the job interview. I pressed the guy so much. I told him everything about myself and how I used it as a positive. So if I could get the higher regency to change their policy, it took 20 minutes to change a huge corporation's policy about hiring felons. So don't let nobody tell you, well, it's our policy, nothing we can do about it. We have insurance and no blah 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 bullshit. 20 minutes. The guy made a call, it was done. So his name is Greg Campbell. He's still the executive director at the higher regency in San Francisco Airport. Greg Campbell, you give him a call, he'll tell you it's true. So I'm just saying one attitude. So I'm proud of that one because if I could do it, a crackhead like me, you could do it, man. You know.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Anthony, it may be where you have to move down south to find a good job. Cost of living down here is cheaper. People are friendlier.
Yeah.
Weather
That's
way
why
better.
I'm in New Mexico.
I mean, I'm in Alabama. It's different, but you know, like I said, they just down here they treat you on how you act today, how you acted 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, the biggest thing is, oh man, I know right now you're scared. The day he gives you that whatever day, however many months he gives you, you're gonna feel the biggest sense of relief because then all the pressure's off. The pressure, the wondering, the worry, all that's over with.
Yeah.
And really, where you're going, if you're going to a camp, I mean, there is absolutely. If you go in there and respect everybody around you, stay clean. Don't be a dirty, you know, don't have a dirty locker, dirty room. Don't get in everybody's business. Man, it'll fly by and you'll be fine.
Hey, KY has a channel too, guys. I want to plug it real quick. He put, I don't know if we have the name of it, but everybody go to his channel. I guess it's KY Reacts. Everybody go to his channel and subscribe if you would, please. I would appreciate that. Thank you. And KY, I'd love to, you know, call me. My number's right up there in the yellow box. It's on all my videos. Call me. You know, I'll do whatever I can. I'll come on your show, whatever. Big Weeby, he's a good dude. I was his 17th subscriber.
It's good to see guys like KY, man, because, you know, I can promise you, he did everything right. I mean, he go through some things while he was in there, but he kept his nose clean and did everything right.
I could tell as soon as he opened his mouth. You see his personality. You already know. You can feel it. You can feel it from the guy. You know what I mean? It's something you can't. You can't. You know, a thug, a con man, all that. If you're gonna, you could tell. One thing when you come out of prison, you can read people's bullshit. You get a superpower. You can see right through somebody's bullshit. Right? That's one superpower you get, man.
When you meet them old cats that has worked their way down, that's the ones you want to get behind and do what they do. Because if they work their way down from a medium to a low to a camp, they did everything right. So just do what they do.
Yep.
But the main thing is, don't look at calendars. If you've got a number, do that number. And you know,
and you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. I'm not saying to go make 100 friends, but you know, if you want to, you don't want to talk to anybody. You're going to do the lonely road. You don't want to go that way, man. You don't want to be the lonely guy. You know what I mean? Just if somebody reaches out to you and you feel that they're a good dude, maybe just talk back to them. I'm not saying make friends, but don't push them away. Okay.
Have you told him, Sean, about it? So, you know, in a penitentiary or a medium, you don't want to take nothing from nobody. You don't want to take no food or whatever.
Yeah. I ain't being no bitch. I'm not going to be nobody's bitch.
Yeah, but when you first get to a camp, you know, it's going to take a few weeks to get your money and get your commissary. So they're going to bring.
I always had them. Yeah.
They're going to bring you soap and they're going to bring you a whole bunch of stuff. It's
coffee,
okay
a Snickers bar, sour shoes, all kinds of stuff. It's welcome gifts. And when you leave, you do the same to the new guy. Or when you get the money, if you ever have the money, you do to the new guy. That's all.
You're leaving. When I was leaving, I had a couple $1,000s on my book. So I bought a bunch of coffee and creamer and stuff and left it to the guys. Because, you know. Yeah,
I did. I left care packages for other guys. I go, give this to the new guys. That's how you do it. You pay it forward. And those are the people those are the people you know are probably not coming back, man. You know.
Yeah. And the bottom line is you so I was afraid to take anything. So I was like, oh no, but it's not like that. They remember what it was like when they first got there. Because it's going to take a few days for your money to come up and all that.
They kind of laugh at they get a kick out of it too. When that's all right, they get a kick out because that's how I was. You know, I don't need nothing, man.
But because of that PREA and all that other stuff, It's so easy to catch a charge in a camp. Everybody. Think about a camp or low. Everybody's going home. They don't want to get in trouble. They don't want to fight. They don't want to. You're gonna have 10 or 12 idiots. You got that anyway. You got that on your job.
And bullies. You're gonna have some bullies. There'll be bullies.
Yeah, there's gonna be somebody try you. Look, all this crap. If somebody steps to you, you got to fight. No, nobody's gonna step to you if you're not in their business. You know what I'm saying? Now, It might be that way in a penitentiary or a medium. Nobody's going to step to you in a camp if you're minding your own business and doing your thing. Right. Get you a job outside, man. Make that day go by. I tell you what I did. The first time I ever saw the sun come up or the sun come down, I sat on a bench with 3 men. I watched the sun go down for the first time. I'd never seen the sun go down, and I thought that was the coolest thing.
You get to do that in the camp. You get to be outside. Yeah. The other levels, you're not outside a lot. Yeah.
But my whole life I was always so busy. Never saw nothing like that. Never had time.
Yeah, you just stop to smell the roses, right? I mean, that kind of thing, man. Yeah.
You'll have so much, and that's the thing. Like I said, I'd never read a book from cover to cover. I read like 7. I actually enjoyed it. I mean, it actually helped me sleep. You have trouble sleeping in there? Read, because man, you'll be sitting there reading and get lazy, fall asleep. And another good thing about a camp, dude, you got lawyers in there. You got lawyers that are in prison. The air conditioning can go out.
Yeah. We had 7 or 8 of them. A couple of them, man, they were just.
Look, a lawyer in prison.
There were some good guys. They saw the error in their ways.
A lawyer in prison can get a case before a judge before these lawyers out here can. I don't know how.
No, because they know how it's done. Whatever they know the trade secret. Yeah, and a lot of them will do the work for free because that's the way to give it back, man. In a county jail or like a state prison, they don't work for free. But in the feds, those lawyers do stuff for you for free. They got money.
Another thing too, Anthony, if you get 36, 28 months, 24 months, whatever, don't go in there and try to get it knocked down. Don't be that guy in there trying to fight your case in the library.
No.
You had 10 or 15 years, I get it. But if you got 2 or 3 years, do that, get out. There's guys in there for 25 years trying to get some time knocked off. And if you're in there in the law library looking up some penal code for some crap, and you got 6 months left, you're going to make somebody mad.
Yep.
Hey, the other Chris, so the camps don't have shoes. They usually send you to, if you're adjacent to a medium, they'll use their shoe, or a standalone camp takes you to the county jail.
Yeah. No, if there's a medium or a penitentiary or something next to you, you're going there. You're not gonna. They don't have a.
No,
they don't have a special place.
Yeah, that's what I said. The camps don't have their. You're going. Everybody at Florence said they had to go to the FCI. I mean, the FCI across the street. Sometimes it was full. Sometimes it was full.
Sean, KY said earlier he had a buddy that went to Berlin and he didn't like it. Ask him why. Why didn't you like it?
Yeah, because he said it was a new one at the time. I guess it's been around about 10 years, and it was a new one, so they were trying to make it a role model prison. The guards are like, this is our prison. New, we're gonna run it. We're running this shit right now. That kind of attitude. I'm guessing.
I think it opened in 2013. I think, from what I read.
Yeah, about 10 years old. So they might have some decent mattresses left. I don't know, but
I will tell you something. After 3 or 4 years, ain't none of them fabulous. I mean, it's going to be a block building. The beds aren't comfortable.
But they had springs. We had springs.
Yeah, we got springs. It wasn't like being in jail on a concrete or steel. If you got back problems, tell them you got back problems. They'll give you a double mattress. If you got back problems, they'll give you a soft shoe pad. You can wear soft shoes. But you don't want to be a guy. If you don't have to take medications, don't, because they're not going to give them to you in there. And you don't want to go stand in some line for an hour.
Drink lots of water and walk the track. You may or may not have drink lots of water, walk the track. That's the doctor. Take 2 aspirin and call me.
I was in there during COVID. I was in there during COVID, and a month before I got there, a man died in the shower, and I was heavy. I was like, "Oh man, what if I get it?" And that's one thing about it. Now, when you're during COVID, when you were in those lockdowns, if one person got sick, everybody got sick. Now I got lucky. I didn't get sick the whole time I was in prison. I didn't get sick. They stuck me in that damn halfway house. I was sick every other day.
Yep.
Because in prison, I could move outside and get away from people. In that halfway house, you're stuck a foot, 2 foot from somebody with somebody on top of you. There's no room. One person gets sick, everybody's sick.
Like you got a whole bunch of cockroaches in one room. They're all gonna get sick. It's kind of how they treat you, like a cockroach.
But if you get there, my advice, if you get there, like if I had to do it over with, I wouldn't have done the ankle monitor and I wouldn't have done the halfway house. If I had to do it over with, I'd have just done the whole 18. And because once you're there 6-7 months, you're used to it. You're used to the food. You got your daily routine. Man, I remember when they first gave me that halfway house in Birmingham, I sat there in a room all day just waiting on a bed. I had to wait for a guy to go home at 7 o'clock that night so I could get a bed. I sat at a damn lunchroom table for 14 hours. It was ridiculous. And,
Chris is saying the food was good where he was at. It was pretty good. The last 2 years we had a new cook. Lasagna, everybody went for lasagna night. Best you ever had. Wednesdays is hamburgers. Thursdays chicken. The last 2 years they got a good cook, and the guards ordered the right spices and herbs and all that.
That's one thing, Anthony, you will know in a federal prison. Every day it's the same thing. Mondays is Mondays. Tuesdays is Tuesdays. Fish on Friday. Hamburgers on Wednesday. Chicken on Thursday. That's not clockwork. That don't change. Every Thursday we got a chicken leg quarter.
They don't give you any meats for breakfast no more, right? No bacon or sausage. We had that. They took that away.
Oatmeal. You get oatmeal. Let me tell you something.
On the weekends, we get sausage and eggs, and they don't do that no more, huh?
No. If you go to the commissary, you can get like oatmeal, and you can get. Now, if you like cereal, don't taste like cereal, but tastes like cardboard. You have all the cereal you want, and then oatmeal that has no taste, and they might have some fruit cocktail you can dump in it.
The prisons order that by their location regional, because we would get watermelons and cantaloupes and honeydew melons, and they would get this good cereal from it would say Costco or something on it from a big warehouse. We'd get Captain Crunch and I don't know honey bunches of honey bunches of oats with almonds, like the real brand, the Post. It just depends on the prison and how much money they're trying to weasel out, get a bonus. It depends because they buy it's the same menu, but they can buy from different warehouses.
I know we had beets and white rice every lunch and dinner. Beets and white rice. I got so tired of that. But like I said, you can get ramen soup and stuff in the look. You'll learn to cook with rice and summer sausage. You will learn to make meals, and at night, man, you and your buddies get together.
They still have microwaves. Microwaves. They still have them. They didn't take them away.
Yeah, and they have a hot pot that you cook the rice in the bowl in. But
we didn't have that.
Yeah, and see that hot pot? It's called a 190. It has it's a pot that puts out boiling water.
We had it for our coffee, but nobody cooked out of it. That was for all water.
They would make those rice bowls out of it, and then on the weekend
they had stingers. You never get stingers in there.
Oh look, them Hispanics will go back there on the press that you iron your clothes with, and they'll make some quesadillas out of this world off some wax paper. You can't get a quesadilla that good at a restaurant.
No,
they'll
man.
charge
And the cheesecakes are good too. Yeah, cheesecakes I'm going to tell you, I'm proud to say I've been to 11 county jails. One prison, I've never had a spread in my life, and I never will.
Now, I'll say this. They're going to tell you, oh, man, mackerel and tuna and stamps and all this, that's your currency. Every prison's different. Every prison's different. So I get there and I buy.
That's where I was at, tuna and carnitas. But yeah, everyone's different.
I bought a whole bunch of stamps and they were worthless because everybody was doing emails and phone calls. There was nobody writing letters. So I had a bunch of stamps I couldn't do nothing with. Like
the guys like guys like Chris, they'd come and they'd have $800 worth of stamps saved up, and we're all good for you. We don't want them. They're worthless.
Don't wait till you get in there to find out what the currency is. Because we had a guy that cut hair. He was awesome, but he wanted a 12-pack of Sprites to cut your hair.
Oh shit! Yeah, how do you get your hair cut? I didn't even think about that.
Some of them do it in the past. They have clippers that they transferred from another prison or something, right?
Yeah, but you get caught with clippers in there. the way ours was, if you got caught with clippers or anything, you could make a tattoo gun out of it. Was a
No,
contraband.
some camps had it on their commissary sheet, and when they transferred, they let them bring it.
Yeah, we didn't have it.
But
I will
that's
tell you
probably
this.
all.
So you get your haircut from the institution or somebody that's in the institution?
An inmate, and that'll be his job. And you got to tip. You got to tip him. Tip him a
Yeah,
couple
so
tuna, whatever it is, man.
Yeah,
You gotta
he'll
tip.
like he might tell you, man, bring me a 6-pack of drinks or a 12-pack of drinks. Cost you $6, you know.
Every time you get your haircut?
Yeah, but I mean, hell, you ain't gonna want it done, but about once a month, dude, because a lot of guys got.
I used to borrow their clippers. I'd have to give him like 4 tunas, and he let me borrow them. You know, I do it right there in the bar. He let me do my own if I gave. I got to pay to print it. You know.
Be careful, Anthony, because there's a lot of them guys in there, man, getting their hair cut, got hepatitis and shit. Make sure that barber cleans his shit. Make sure he pulls that shit out of that blue water and cleans his shit. Don't use nobody's razors if they give you a razor. If you don't
And
see
they
them
got
pulling the pack,
lice up in there, all kinds of shit, man. Yeah.
man, them guys got hep C and shit.
STDs, gonorrhea,
Yeah, they got
syphilis, all this shit's going around, man.
So look, if you lay a towel down, you come back and it's been moved, go get another towel. You don't know what they did, what they wiped up in that towel.
Chris has something about clippers here too. Yeah, his prison, I guess Big Sandy, or they had clippers on his commissary list. He said, "Yeah, your tip and your tip is your cut." Yeah.
But see, I'm still doing my same haircut I got in prison. I shave my head and I just still wear it like that. Because I mean, hell, it's the cheapest. If he ain't got to do a whole bunch of styling, he just buzzed it off. It ain't gonna cost you hardly nothing. But I will tell you this.
I got another question for I want you to answer. Tell Anthony. Go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I want Anthony, and I know Chris down here will have a different answer because he went to USB. Where does Anthony sit in the dining room on his first day when he's got his tray? Where does he sit?
Empty seat.
What? Pretty much in a camp. Now, you might be a table of black guys, and mine, if you're invited, they don't mind, but I wouldn't really go sit at them.
Yeah, basically, if you see empty seat, you can sit there.
Yeah.
Because you might have an empty seat with a guy in line. You don't want to take his seat.
Yeah.
So you just,
Right.
If you see an empty seat,
you always ask, hey, guys, can I sit here? But I don't know why you want to go sit with the black guys. I mean, you can get invited, and that's different, you know, but, you could. Anywhere you want to sit, that's available, right? But I know Chris down here would have a whole different answer. You sit with a lot of
times. What you got to worry about in the TV room too, there may not be a chair in that TV room. You drag your chair there and put it in that spot, you got to argue with somebody. That's their spot.
They buy those chairs. They sell them $50 a piece or something when they leave. Yeah, those are bought paid for.
Go in the TV room for 4 or 5 days and kind of see where everybody's sitting, because you damn sure don't want to pull your chair in their spot. And you got guys that sit in that TV room all day and guard that TV. That's their TV. A lot of times you have TV for the whites, TV for the blacks, TV for the Hispanics and the others, but they're all in the same room unless you got headphones. You know, it's the only way everybody's talking. You can't.
No, where I was at, they had a waiting list, and at my camp, to get on the waiting list, you had to show you had to have your paperwork, and you had to pay like $10 and show paperwork. So they took the TV rooms. That's the only thing that they had left to hold on to from being at the USP. So that TV room that's the only thing they could control. So they made sure they did.
Sean, you said the other day that they did away with headphones and they have tablets now. You can't even get an MP3.
You can put a headphone in a tablet, but then they sell radio still. They sell radio still.
Oh yeah, that's what I want, so I can listen to talk radio.
Yeah, because I wanted my AM radio. I wanted to hear my George Norrie, my Coast to Coast AM, and all that stuff. And I'm gonna say it. And I don't care if you guys unsubscribe, but I'm a Trumper. I voted for Trump, and I had to hear my right wing talk shows.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, and a lot of guys won't say it, but there ain't many men in prison don't love Trump, because Trump wants to do away with the camps, and I what they don't realize is half these people now are supporting Trump, and their families are supporting Trump because these guys got out because of Trump. They got out early.
Yeah.
And he's already saying now he's wanting to do away with him. because a camp really is a waste of money. It's a waste of government money.
Yeah.
You're not in there doing hard time. I mean, look, you can do the same thing on home confinement that you can do at a camp.
Yep.
Pretty much. And yeah, pretty much.
And the same thing. And but Anthony, it's going to be an experience. It really is. I wish I could tell you it's going to be awesome and you're going to love it. There are going to be days you do love. There are going to be days you hate. There are going to be days that go by fast and be days that go by slow as hell. But
yes, you'll be reminded that you're in prison some days, man. It'll be hard, but
but the most
you'll come back with stories.
It has an end.
Yeah, and see that camp. Everybody has an outdate. At other prisons, people don't even have an outdate.
No, and the most important thing though is, like I said, when you call home, even if you're sad, dude. Are you married?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you call home, man, just be glad you're talking to her. And if she don't answer, think about the times you're at work and you went to pick up your phone and you just missed the call.
Yeah.
That could have been her. You could have just missed the call. Problem is, she can't call you right back like she could on your cell phone. Understand that. So when you talk to her, don't be mad. Why didn't you answer phone? Well, you knew I was in here. You knew I was going to call. She don't know what time you're going to call. And you don't know because you may email, I'm going to call you at 7 o'clock. And you go and the phones are full and you can't call till 7:30.
Right.
So be patient with her. She'll be patient with you. How long y'all been married?
About 10 years.
Shit, dude. Y'all been married way longer than you're going for. So everything's gonna be fine with your head. Everything's gonna be fine with you. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've been married 4 times. There were 2 of my marriages were worse than prison. Shit. I would have went to prison to avoid the divorces and the cost of divorce.
Yep.
But before you know it, you'll be calling Sean again. You'll be down about 30, 35 pounds. I'm going to tell you something. Even if you don't work out, even if you don't walk, even if you don't exercise, you're going to drop 25 or 30 pounds because all you're getting is 1,900 calories a day.
Yep.
That's all you're getting. Unless you and look, if you eat at the commissary, get a lot of tuna fish and chicken and stuff like that. It's more expensive, but you're getting protein. Don't sit in there and eat donuts and bullshit, Coke, drink water. Lose that weight, work on you. That way, when you do get out, your wife's like, damn, who's this fox that came back?
Right. I couldn't hear you earlier because I had static. What did you say that there was stuff to work out there with?
Yeah, there's ellipticals, there's treadmills, there's stair climbers. There's just not free weights. Anything that can be used as a weapon is not going to be there.
They have like Nautilus machines? Oh, must have lost them, Sean.
Did I don't know. Maybe. Kind of Nautilus. Hey, I'm going to show you. Huh? What now? I was pulling up a picture, but I don't know where he went. But there we go. I don't know why I'm showing you that. Anyway, I don't know what.
All right, Sean. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I guess we'll end it. Because what time is it? Shit, we've been going like 2 hours, man. Getting like big weavy. Long time. Hey, before you, I know it's Monday. If you got an hour or half an hour this weekend, let's do a Zoom thing and let's role play. And maybe if anybody got in the house, we'll all do it. We should role play. Somebody get behind the table, be the judge. I'll show you how the bad, the bad defendant is, and then the good defendant. How you should say, just to get it all out. Okay, we're not practicing it. It's not to learn a speech because that comes on that day. But just to get the role playing part out, so you could, and we'll try to make it like a courtroom. And maybe if your family will help you set up your living room to be a courtroom, and you could, guys, that would be great if they could participate in that and help you out with that. And just
if you want to
have your son be the hanging judge, so he can get his shit out. You know what I mean?
He's not going to be involved in it. But if you want to call me on Sunday, we can do something. No doubt.
because I think it's good to get just to get that. So when you get there, you're going to go, okay, there's nothing like we practiced, but you went through the motions. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Because
All
there's three speeches that you're going to tell the judge. The one that you practiced, the one you should have said, and then the one that you did. Okay.
Right.
The one that comes out. And that's, you know.
Yep.
So don't learn your lines, because there is no lines. Okay. Do not practice your lines. You're not getting a part in the movie. You're already the star, and the producer, and the writer, and the cameraman, and everything else, and you're the audience and everything. So you write this book, you write this movie, and make it a good one. I want a happy ending. Okay.
Yep. Hopefully. Well, if you talk to Chris, tell him I said thanks for the info. He's very helpful.
Yeah, he was going in. All right, man. But we'll talk. Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. And guys, subscribe to this channel, but also subscribe to I guess it's KY Reacts, and hit the like button. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.